Welcome, one and all, to Hazard Analysis episode 16, folks. We wish you a Merry January Sixmas. We wish you a Merry January Sixmas. We wish you a Merry January Sixmas and a happy election year. Folks, how are we doing in this new year of hazard analysis and the hazards that we're going to analyze together? Folks, it is your King of Extreme, Phil Kawi, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, and one damn handsome man if I do say so myself. Folks, you can, of course, find me right here at Hazard Analysis on YouTube. Folks, be sure to give us a like, a share, subscribe over there. And how are you all doing this evening? And, Grow the Farm Up, he goes, that was better than Matt Rife's last Netflix special, which, yes, that will be something we might get into a little later. And Bandit, I love you too. So we'll get into all of that. You can, of course, find me, your King of Extreme, Phil Kawi, at Kawi Nation on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. And I am joined this evening by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
the 15-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, the quadruple distilled, non-chill filtered, Tony fucking G, your blend master of ceremonies. You can find me on all my various social media platforms, podcast iterations, and presences all over the interwebs at Linktree/Tony the Rod. And yes, we are back finally once again after a very long hiatus. Back with Hazard Analysis, episode number 16, and we are on the heels of a very special, very, very unique, interesting debacle of an anniversary of the American history, January 6th. We are back with Hazard Analysis. We're going to talk about it. We're going to relive some of the moments. We got a whole grab bag of stuff to talk about, and it's nice to be live again. We haven't done a live show on the Big Bucket Empire in almost 2 months. And first and foremost, we've missed you. I'm sure maybe one of you has missed us. I hope at least one.
Tony, the millions and millions of KOE Nation fans have been waiting with bated breath as to what is going to happen here at Big Bucket Empire, where you get to see the real content get made. Phil KOE, Tony G, and once in a while, like a rare white elk sighting chicken, will come together, and we will do some amazing things here, T. But we have, now Steve's just trying to really get at me. Phil has had a change of heart and is now libertarian.
Phil has always been libertarian. That's the actual truth. It turns out he's not even Republican. He is libertarian and always has been.
Just pulls the mask off. Ha-ha! Yeah. Libertarian the whole time. I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky moderates.
Yeah.
But now I have to do something that I have not done in a very long time.
Yes.
Bandit. T, do you want to just get it in now?
No, I'm going to wait.
Oh, you know good.
Because you'll undoubtedly piss me off soon enough. I'll wait.
Well, I mean, that's just assured on any given show. But if that's the case, T, and it's been a long time coming to all you beautiful people to fighting, stealing, and drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for a friend. If you're going to steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're going to drink, by God, I hope it's with me.
Friday, folks. Gin.
Eat a chaser on
that. Other than that delicious gin shot and that cola you've got to the side, you drinking anything else there, Phil?
Oh yeah. Now what's funny is I was planning on, if I couldn't find the gin, because I found this last minute. Like it was
at the
because it's like that. It was like this, and it was hiding under a book. Okay, so I was like, where the fuck? And so I found it last second. My plan was I was going to see if the audience wanted to make me do shots of this Ukrainian brandy. And so I could taste NATO and the CIA in a bottle. And just like, it wouldn't matter if it was good brandy, I'd still hate it because it's all CIA funding. But I also got
brandy, so that's not fair.
Also, what I'm going to plan on drinking here is Maker's Mark, Little Sister. the
That's a good
Hy-Vee
one.
store pick. I'm working on polishing this bad boy off because it's time to start making some room.
True. Fair.
Got 2 cherry on top, so I finished one of them off. Now I'm working on this. And also later tonight, we'll see if we get the chance. I'd like us to maybe review this Willet Rye.
I have mine as well, so hopefully we'll be able to get into that.
We'll get into that a little later this evening, but let's see. Bandit Phil removes the mask to reveal he's Gary Johnson. It was me the whole time. Governor, no. Grow the farm up. That gin, like STP transmission fluid from 1970. Yeah, this was. Yeah. Now, Tony, I do apologize. I need to pick up my new gin.
Yes, I have
That's
it
at
here
your
for
place.
You. Yes.
And I will, the next time we go live, I will have that god awful gin for you to select. Do you want me to start? Because this has got like the last like 6 of the bottle. Okay, there's not much left. So yeah, we'll see if the folks want me to start finishing this off or get into the new god awful STP tastes better. Maybe
Only if it's vintage STP.
Now, I will say, in terms of libertarians, that Javier guy or whatever his name is in Argentina has made me eat some crow in the last few months because I've always had, rightly say, like, okay, can you show me any libertarian legislation or any libertarian law or really a libertarian anywhere that's done anything of any, there we go, any substance or anything objectively real in our world that isn't just living in the theoretical ever. And until this Javier guy in Argentina, I was dead right. You couldn't point to it anywhere. And this motherfucker is, yeah, El Presidente de Argentina. This guy is going scorched earth libertarian. Now we'll see what people are like. Why can't we do that in the United States? Well, this guy doesn't have the military industrial complex and the entire intelligence agency apparatus arrayed against him. So, and he's not in charge of the most powerful military that also relies on the military industrial complex and intelligence agencies that are arrayed against. Yeah, it's kind of a different thing. You're kind of comparing apples to nuclear powers. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but so yeah, that's interesting because Chicken's got a little bit of a comeback, but it doesn't matter because I Phil K. William documented to be 99.6% right on any and all predictions. So. Bandit, I saw today that he's stopping welfare payments to people blocking streets. Stop oil protests. Scorched earth. Now, speaking of pushing back against the establishment, T, this is the eve of many of our Democrat friends' favorite holiday. Okay. It's one that it comes but once a year, but it is a feeling that they want to preserve all year long.
Right you are, Phil. Yes, thanks for passing it off to me. I'm drinking Teeling whiskey, single grain Irish whiskey.
I was waiting for you to jump in there, man.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm sipping on. It's a really nice single grain Irish whiskey. It's about, what is this one? It's 46 ABV. This is one that did very well in the Irish tournament. It's got a very distinct flavor, and if you're not like a lover of Jameson, this might be an Irish whiskey that you might actually enjoy because it's a little bit different, but very, very nice, pleasant, sweet, delicious. And before we get into the main topic, I do want to shill a couple of things, specifically in the Big Buckin' Empire. We've got coming up, hopefully here very, 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 very soon, for all you wrestling fan out there, the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast Year in Review, the 2023 Year in Review, coming up very, very soon, live for you at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast on YouTube and, of course, on Facebook at the Big Buckin' Empire. So make sure you're like, share, and subscribe to both of those to get the notifications of when we are able to drop that and go live and do our year in review. And, of course, the big one finally happening next weekend, the Dog and Chicken Show, episode 200 episodes of Dog and Chicken, and of course KOE, the Big Buckin' Empire. It's been a long, strange, difficult journey, but very, very fun, very, very hilarious, and I just want to have a really fun, just reminiscent show because it's been a long journey, like I said. And I think just need to be relaxed, have fun. It's going to be a beautiful time. So I want everybody to be there for it. That's coming up next weekend, I believe Friday night. Next Friday. I think,
Nice. Next Friday. Now, Tony's like, I want it to be good. I want it to be calm. I want it to be beautiful. One of us three is going to get belligerently drunk. Like, let me tell you, you're the fire reason that we're not a Joe Rogan.
That's essentially what I
like,
meant.
whoa.
Jeez.
Whoa. Chicken. I don't think we were making it on the Joe Rogan this year.
That's my goal.
Okay. Like to me, it's like, I'm kind of more figuring on like one of those like segments like, dude, did you see that guy Phil? What the fuck was he doing? Well, yeah, that's kind of more what I'm betting on, T. So, and yeah, take what you can get in this life. But T, so you're drinking on some Teeling, I'm drinking on some bourbon because, well, I seem to have a little bit.
You've got a few.
One or two bottles, maybe even three.
You've got a few here too.
Yeah, there's a few there, here, there, a little bit everywhere. You know, it's it's kind of like baseball cards, folks. It's almost its own sickness. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Fair. Drink them? Why? When you can have them.
Having an empty bottle is just not the same as having a full unopened bottle.
Exactly. You see, this motherfucker's spitting. So, Tony, now that we've exchanged the pleasantries and post holiday, and I hope you had a very Merry Christmas with you and yours.
Yes, and it's finally over.
Finally. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to one more on Saturday, which even I'm like, wow, okay. Drink your whiskey and have it too. Nice.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's what he meant, but that's how we're taking it. And so he's like, I don't care. No, that's what we're doing. But yeah, I had a great December. I got to spend time with literally everybody that meant pretty much anything in my life. I got to spend time with you in December. So that one's going to be hard to top. And Christmas was amazing. And so it was quite the holiday, and I'm glad that we all made it out happy, healthy, much the wiser from 2023. And we move onward and upward into 2024. And what you can expect here in 2024 is to see Hazard Analysis take the helm here, folks. So if you're a subscriber to Big Buckin', you're still going to be honored with all of the great shot fun and all make me drink gin, you motherfucker. Anyways, yes, that'll all still be present, but you're going to see Hazard Analysis become a normal part of your week. You're going to be inviting us into your living rooms and on your phone through Hazard Analysis. And we're going to be inviting some new people here and there, and you're going to get to know them. And it's going to be an interesting journey. Big Buckin' Empire ain't going nowhere, folks. Chicken, you know him. He is the phantasm. He is the specter that hangs over, that can arrive at any moment. But that is what I see for the coming year. How about you, T?
Yeah, so as far as the Big Buckin' Empire content goes, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, I'm hoping we can get more consistent with that. We had a really rough fall and early winter getting shit in because let's just be frank, there was a lot of it and it was hard to keep up with, and we're all busy. And same goes for the Dog and Chicken show, and we're moving forward with it, but it's going to be, obviously you've seen, we haven't done a live show on the Dog and Chicken show for almost 2 months. The last couple were pre-records, and we're probably going to do a lot more pre-records with the Dog and Chicken show moving forward. Going to kind of go back to the grassroots of the show itself and do a lot of unique topics and do pre-records and really kind of dive deep into different things, whether it be a list, a conspiracy theory, nostalgia, stuff like that, and that's really
the Clinton body count.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's kind of where the show started off at, and we're gonna kind of get back to that. But that doesn't mean we won't be doing live shows. We will be. It's just gonna be. It's not. I don't know what our schedule is gonna look like in terms of doing a live show with the Dog and Chicken Show moving forward. I'd like to do one a month. That'd be great. I hope we can try to make that happen. So hopefully that's something we can kind of get scheduled out so people can kind of plan around it. But other than that, we will be having plenty of content all across the Big Bucket Empire. It's just a matter of, folks, you gotta make sure you're subbed to all of them. And I know it's like Pokemon, you gotta catch them all. But if you like our content, you like us, you want to be a part of all of it, the Big Bucket Empire on Facebook, and then of course Dog and Chicken Show, Hazard Analysis, the KOE Nation, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, and of course check me out on Dad's Worldwide on all the audio platforms as well. So there's a lot of stuff going down. Yanked Up Podcast is coming back too. He's finally getting back in the fold. So there's a lot out there, but it's all worth it. You all need to check it out. And of course me, Tony G, at Linktree/Tony the Rod, all of the stuff.
And yeah, so this is where, if you want to get the latest live, come to Hazard Analysis right there on YouTube. I dropped the link for all y'all because I'm nothing if not, amicable and accommodating. But T, on this January 6th Eve, there's something that I wanted to get into with the folks at home. Okay, is that all right with you, sir?
Yeah, no, I by all means.
Well, all right, this calls for a little bit of fog on my glasses there, but this definitely calls for the glasses of Extreme. Bam, there we go. Had a little spot in my glasses, folks. It is what it is. So, get that back in there. What we have here, folks, is an article from the Great Babylon Bee. And it reads, Adam Kinzinger's mom lets him open one January 6th present on January 6th Eve. Isn't that precious, T?
You make kids wait all December to open a gift. The least you can do is let them have one on Christmas Eve.
And so much like that. And as the article goes, in Illinois, witnesses reported seeing former U.S. Representative Adam Kinzinger sob with delight after his mom allowed him to open one January 6th present on January 6th Eve. The gift he opened was a tissue box. Thanks, Mommy. This is the best January 6th Eve ever, yelled Kinzinger as he ran around the house in tearful delight while wearing his fuzzy pajamas with little rhinos printed on them. Quote, I can't wait to see what else old Nana Pelosi will leave under the holy guardrail tonight, end quote. While not all religious groups recognize January 6th as a holy day, some families, the Kinzingers, for example, claim the holiday represents an event bigger than Christmas, the Civil War, or Earth's creation a few thousand years ago. While Adam Kinzinger reportedly spent the rest of the sacred evening singing January 6 hymns he'd written himself, dozens of other devotees across the nation celebrated with their own distinct fervor. The Cheneys, for example, spent the evening pretending to be the President of the United States. At publishing time, reports have flooded in from fully grown adults across the U.S. who swore they saw old Nana Pelosi riding her lectern across the sky, wishing everyone a sober January 6th. That was truly touching there. Truly touching. I feel like we've all grown.
It's just beautiful.
And so for this January 6th, I think the spirit of giving is what this is now all about. And I think what we need to do is just give Washington, D.C. a new president in November, and that will truly spread the giving and make it a gift that keeps on giving. Don't you think, T?
I mean, that is definitely, what greater gift can you give the world than after 4 years of just wonderful harmony amongst its citizens, but a
Peace
new
on
face,
earth.
a fresh, new, young, scrapping face in the White House.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like literally, like almost a decade younger. Yeah. So,
Almost a decade. You know, Phil, in the giving season, you're right. It is the season of giving. It was, and it still is. So I think it's time that you had another gin shot. Come to think of it, Phil. I mean, you said it yourself. Steven says Pelosi's going to leave the bombs the unidentified man left under the tree. Is it a tree? Is that what we put up on January 6th, miss? Is it a tree or is it a podium? I think it should be a podium.
Or a guardrail.
A guardrail or a fake gallows with noose. You know, all good options to celebrate.
Or a buffalo
January
hat?
6th.
I don't know.
Oh, no, that's standard garb. Those are
or is that what
January
the
6th jammies?
Yeah, the January 6th jammies. All right. Well, T, Merry January 6th to all, and to all a good night, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know.
Was that delicious?
It's terrible.
It could be worse, Phil, if you had to do another one.
Yeah.
Unlike me, who has to do, yeah, okay. Damn it.
Whew, thank God. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Lord. I was not looking forward to taking another. Sweet. And thank you, Lynn.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, gross.
All right, here's some Barton Gin London Extra Dry for you, Lynn. You prick. Ugh. That's not good.
None of it's good. Gin is meant to just be the simplest way to get alcohol made with no consideration for the palate whatsoever.
Yeah, the gin doesn't even faze him anymore. He's an addict now. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. I wish we could go back to when he first started drinking it because the reactions were so much more fun. We have to find a new spirit that just
fuck you
wrenches his gut.
No, dude. Like, I've just adapted to this by now, and it's kind of funny. You guys keep finding a way to race to the bottom. It's actually unto itself. This new gin, it's aged in a fucking bourbon barrel, and they somehow managed to make it worse.
I don't know. That's just impressive, in my opinion. I don't know why you're hating on it. Thought it'd be right up your alley, aged in a bourbon barrel.
Tony.
Yes, Phil.
Why would you do such a thing to a bottle of bourbon?
I'm trying to help.
You're not. No, that's not help at all. Okay, so
it depends what perspective you're looking at. And speaking of perspective, let's talk more about January 6th because that's what we're here for. And we did
there was a time when love was in the air, T.
Oh yeah, love was nowhere to be found. It's been a hot minute. It's been 3 years since the let's call it an insurrection, I guess, because that's what they tried to call it, but also known as a police guided tour through the Capitol building.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to on this one, which is this was one of the moments where we truly diverged as a society.
9/11 times 3 million, yes. It's a tragedy.
I remember that in the immediate aftermath of it, I knew there was going to be some really serious fallout from this, and I said, yeah, the crown will not be mocked. Okay, like this is a moment that was a little different because my my daughter and I were actually talking about January 6th because it was coming up, and like, okay, so what do you remember of it? And like, she knows kind of like not the MSNBC,
Where were you when
more
they
like
stormed
the
the Capitol building on January 6th?
she knows more like the CNN understanding of it, like kind of like the
So
milk
no
toast.
understanding whatsoever.
That would be one way of putting it, I suppose.
That's the
but
CNN understanding.
yeah, and she was like, some people went and they stormed in the Capitol, and it was a bad deal. Like that's kind of like that was her, understanding. I was like, okay, that's one perspective, or like that's fair to have that perspective. But to me, I remember saying, like, at the time, I was like, I don't know if anybody quite realized this, but the point was to not have Biden be certified on the 6th of January. And they weren't able to certify the election until 3 a.m. on the 7th of January. And so technically, by its own weird margin, if that's how you want, like, you could make the lawyer argument for it being one of the most successful protests of the century.
You spin a fun yarn there, Phil, but you used the line.
If you're a lawyer, you could make the argument.
Yeah, you could make a lawyer's argument. I'm sorry if you have to use that to paraphrase what you're saying. Like, everybody just wants to throw rocks.
Let me say, I'm not endorsing what happened.
Because I want to throw a rock at you now.
Let me just say, I'm not endorsing anything that happened that day. Anybody that was violent, yeah.
Throwing rocks at you because you said lawyer's argument.
Okay, that's fair. But what I'm getting at is usually protests don't actually accomplish what they're after.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. Like you're right in this regard, because what we're used to in the recent memory of things, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, protests essentially boil down to people just getting away with breaking the law, because that's what they think the word protest means. They're like, oh, is there a bunch of people pissed off that I can identify with or pretend to identify with? Really, there is, and I can get away with breaking the law while doing that? Well, sign me up. That's what a vast majority of the people in this country think a protest is. However, yes, January 6th at its core was meant to be a protest. And yeah, what was it supposed to accomplish? It wasn't supposed to overthrow the government. Let's just lay the cards on the table right here now, because at its core, everybody that went to the Capitol building on January 6th, I don't know how many thousands of people it was, but how many in that crowd do you actually think believed in their heart of hearts that day they were going to overthrow the United States government?
I think, like, if you had a vast majority were like, dude, am I going to be able to get a selfie at the front of the Senate? Like that, I think that was like at least a good chunk of them. To truth be told, like I remember the picture of the little grandma with holding the American flag. We all know that picture, and yeah, she's still sitting in a fucking cell somewhere. Yeah. Like it's like wow, and that's what I mean when I say that I knew the response was going to be disproportionate, because this was an instance where the crown was mocked and the rabble dictated to the rulers for a day. And that was a fascinating moment in our history that I don't think we even fully understand at this moment. Nobody really does.
I'm not going to condone everybody doing what happened that day, because
a
lot of people went there to show their displeasure with the outcome of the election. That was the goal, was just to go there. I'm going to bet most of the people in that crowd never actually intended on going in. Now, regardless of who actually breached the building itself and who was persuaded into following behind, that's irrelevant. Most of the people just went there to, like, as you said, protest their displeasure with the outcome. Whether they thought it was fair or not, doesn't matter. It was just a rally of sorts. And I find it so utterly fascinating yet completely disheartening that when that happens, not a year after we had an entire summer of actual protests turned to riots, where we downplayed the severity of the riot and its impact on the towns and the cities that they were taking place in, and the violence and the destruction that these multiple protests turned riots caused, we downplayed that for an entire summer. Yet, one day in history where voting is supposed to be so very, very important, one day in history, people took it too far and went into the Capitol building of our government, where nobody but the people who actually entered the building got hurt. No politicians got hurt. Only the people that breached the Capitol got hurt. We look at this as a vastly different situation that was more horrible, more despicable, more deplorable, more terroristic than an entire season of people doing something so very much worse, more destructive, more harmful to themselves and others. And yet, when you go to school and you still open a history textbook, we still herald the Boston Tea Party, yet we're condemning the folks of January 6th for walking through the Capitol building. And we're championing a fucking vegan buffalo hat wearing guy going to prison, and as you said, a grandma waving a little flag going to prison, because those people are domestic terrorists.
They have the wrong politics.
And this is where we're at. I can't believe that we're actually here. Like, we've been leaning this way for a long time, going, when we get to the point in politics where only one side is allowed to be right and everybody else needs to either die or be imprisoned, it's horrifying. And this is why everybody still believes that we're on the brink of civil war again, even though we're so uniquely controlled as a society. It's very concerning from both levels. I find it so amazing that you can go to a high school history book and open up to the Boston Tea Party and have it championed. Yet we're here talking about January 6th like it's worse than, like Lynn alluded to, 9/11, which is ludicrous on so many levels.
Yeah, but I remember in the immediate aftermath, like, that was the language they were using. Like, they called it, like, I remember Tom even tried to come into our comments like, dude, that was what are you talking about, protest? Only thing that happened in DC was a terrorist attack. I'm like, okay, all right, they're going to use the most hysterical language possible, because here's the thing that I always bring up, that all governments around the world only operate on one thing: some form of legitimacy. Even North Korea, to you and me, we don't get North Korea. But the only reason that they keep operating in North Korea is because to their people, they have some figure of legitimacy. Okay, that's the only reason they keep operating. And that's kind of the way it is everywhere. And January 6th undermined the idea of the Biden government's legitimacy. And that's something that really can't be recovered from. And don't get me wrong, like, I get it. I was not happy with the election results. I felt like we should have audited deeper before certification. I feel all those things. But I also know that post January 6th, our country has changed in a way that none of us, like, nobody on the left or right, really appreciates yet. Because we don't, it's kind of like post 9/11. Like, and I hate to make that comparison but like, what I'm saying is, for about a week or two, like, the Burger King was still open and everything. You know what I mean? Like, there was still, but then everything shifted. And I'm not saying it was as bad as 9/11, but in terms of, like, canon events to our reality, like, in the Trump timeline, this is a canon event. Okay. This is a core memory to people who have seen Inside Out. Okay. Like, I don't know how else to, this is a core memory to America now, January 6th, because now what's funny is 2019, Democrat anti-Kavanaugh protesters take the Senate Hart office building. They literally storm the building. They charge in. Nobody really causes much of a fuss over them. The union protesters in, I think it was Wisconsin, I believe, is one of the Rust Belt states. They shut down the whole state for weeks on end by just sitting in. And not like, so it really does seem to boil down to if you have the quote right or wrong politics, is how hard the state's going to come down on you, because certain opinions are a lot harder to be malleable. And I don't know, like I pray we come to some sort of catharsis on this as a nation, but I think when hearts get hardened, that's when the irretractable lines get drawn. And it's the idea that this person will forever be my enemy no matter what. Okay. Now, Tony, you and I know the boss speech from Metal Gear Solid 3. Okay. You and I know there's no such thing as an eternal enemy. Okay. But right now it sure seems like it. And I hope this ends without anything major, but I kind of predicted it a few years ago, and God, I hope I'm wrong. If things go anywhere close to like they did in 2020 in terms of how the votes are getting counted, and they shut it down in the swing districts and only the swing districts, and they start kicking people out and covering windows and stuff, I fear the history books are going to write things like the Battle of Atlanta, the Battle of Tucson, the Battle of Madison. Those are things that I pray I'm wrong about, but time will tell. That's out of our hands now, T.
Remembering back, like when it was going down and everything was happening, I couldn't. I remember some of the people in the chat were rejoicing. It's like, oh, this is fucking great. I love this. This is fantastic. I love everything about this. Go ahead. Fuck it. Do whatever you want. Meanwhile, I couldn't help but think, it's not like I was like sold on the Trump movement or anything, but I'm like,
definitely didn't put you harder on the Trump train, did you?
Well, no. That's no. And it was, you're not doing yourselves any favors here, because long term, I could see it breaking down. I think I even made mention of this live during the day. Like, this is going to do so much more irreparable harm long term than anything else. Like, if they would have just gone away that day, what they would have found something else to fuel the fire, sure. But they essentially gave the left so much ammunition to work against them and a future Trump campaign. And we're seeing that now, the fallout, even 3 years later, heading into a election cycle. It's all they have, but it's all they need. And that's what they think. And their voter base is sold anyway, but this just reminds them again that now, this is also the story we've unyarned for you, and you're going to keep threading it back through the needle, and you're going to love it.
Now, keep in mind,
I want to make one point.
Oh, go ahead.
Before, because the same people that are convinced that this was a domestic terrorism attack, that this was a horrible event in our nation's history, what do you think they would say if I showed them this picture, Phil?
They would say evil MAGA Republicans.
Just a horrible gathering of despicable people, right?
Of course. Sure, that's
because that's the massive crowd gathering to see the 14 Democratic senators that left the state to protest the bill in Wisconsin on March 12th, 2011. Now, I guarantee you, Phil, if we took this picture and showed it to the pollsters, the people being polled on the street, we love to talk about how accurate them poll numbers are. I guarantee if we showed this image right here and said, what do you think of this? What do you think about this insurrection on January 6th? And showed them this, they'd have all sorts of commentary on it until you revealed, oh, that's not actually what that is. And that's kind of the point. As a whole, this entire thing is pushed by a single, simple narrative that the other guy's politics are wrong and what I'm telling you is right, and now your entire identity and thinking needs to align with mine. And that's how easily people are manipulated. That's how easily people are tricked, conveyed into thinking and voting a certain way. And this coming election cycle in 2024 will be absolutely no different.
I think this election cycle is going to be unique, actually. I think this one's going to be
I think the last one was unique, and I think this one is going to be
for its own reasons.
This one will be unique, but
it'll be a reaction
to
last time around.
I think had the 2020 election gone the way we anticipated, I'll put it that way, had Trump retained office, we would have seen another 4 years of mudslinging, dragging him through the mud, belittling anyone wearing a red hat. It would have just been amped up more and more and more and more and more. But heading into 2024, I think the Democrats finally would have backed off because, okay, we're finally on the backslide. We've had 8 years of Trump. It's going to be very easy for us to slide somebody in because even some of the Trump campaign folk are going to be, okay, maybe we'll see.
Oh, after 8 years of anybody, people are like the last year of Obama, fatigue. People were
voting fatigue.
Distancing themselves from Obama. And he's like, and like, truth be told, man, like, now this is coming from a pretty, like, don't you think it's fair to say a fairly right-leaning Republican? Is that fair to say? Like me, I'm a wee bit right-leaning in the Republican Party.
Phil, you're not leaning, you're laying down and digging into the ground.
Okay, fair enough. If I had to choose between having Biden in charge for the rest of this term or just letting Obama just run shit, like
openly instead of behind the scenes, you mean?
Allegedly, winky face. I know we want to keep alive. Yeah, like I think like most Republicans would pick Obama over Biden at this point because he's just that incompetent. So, Justin, how we doing there, sir?
Justin, good to
check him out at Yanked Up. Jesse West, who has Biden on 2024 death pool? Ooh, and yeah, get those in by January 15th, folks. That's the deadline every year for our death pool. So be sure to get on for the death pool this year, January 15th. Get your picks. And speak of the death pool devils, Tom Foolery.
Oh my goodness, Tom.
The guy who won 2022 by the hair of your chinny chin chin by a Betty White. Okay, on the 11th hour, they went like, "How are we doing?" To like, wow, that is some time in there. We just get into the death pool and we have one of the death pool winners show up. Like that's quite something. And yeah, Tom got it in just by a Betty White on the 11th hour, and she sacrificed herself so that we could all live a better life. Thank you, Betty. Justin, Chris, have you seen all the Stephen? Yes. There's some that even I'm a little ashamed of myself for laughing at. Like, oh no. But hey, Tom, how you been, my man? I hope everything's treating you well on your side of the country, sir. And this year, I suspect Georgia's going to be kind of an important state in the election, so you're going to have another interesting, fun election night. That's one of those that every time I stream live, it don't go the way I want. So this night, I might just like send that one out, and, like be sending messages like, "Hey, everybody, hoping to." We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But anywho,
this election. We're going big on the coverage because I mostly missed out in 2020 because I was in the hospital having my last child. So yeah, I was kind of pissed.
We're having
I missed
another.
out on that. No. So yeah, this go around, I can't wait. I'm excited for the coverage, and we're a week away from really having a pretty big decide in how the Republican caucuses are going to pan out here in a short week. Am I
It
wrong?
doesn't matter. The primary's over and the winner is Donald J. Trump, and I called that months ago.
That's
But
not the point because it still has to shake out. And once that does shake out, we'll know who's going to be on the ticket with him. I feel like we're going to have a much clearer picture there.
now I will say this actually is true. Chicken is extending an invite to you, Tom, for next week because we're having our 200th episode of the Dog and Chicken Show on Big Buckin' Empire, and you've been a big part of our history thus far, so you
Absolutely.
definitely are invited on, good
Yes.
sir. Ben's going, Merry Sixmas and
Right.
a happy election year. Yes. The caucuses.
Caucuses.
The caucuses. Caucuses.
Caucuses. I do want to reiterate, had 2020 gone one way, we'd be looking at a much different, not like how the nation overall would be, but heading into this year, I don't think that we'd be looking at even a remotely similar election year. It wouldn't even be close because the Democrats would have had another 4 years to prepare who they wanted to be next, right? But instead, they had to put a lot of time and energy into, well, let's say just keeping the station afloat with who they decided to, gift the presidency. And that has taken up a lot of their time. So now that we're actually in 2024, we're under a year away from the election. Now it's kind of crunch time. Are they still, and I think the jury's still out, are we still going to go whole hog on this whole Biden reelection campaign, or are we going to kind of do what they did with Biden and just throw him in at the last second, because he didn't even campaign during the caucuses. He just kind of showed up and said, yep, I'm it. I'm the nominee. It's me now. Oh, okay. Are they going to do that here? Or are they just going to say, oh, now he's just stepping down, and now we have this last-minute replacement that's Michelle Obama. Congratulations. So I think we're looking at a very interesting, long, arduous road towards the election because, yeah, as you said, Phil, I think you're right. It's going to be Trump. I don't know who he's going to have as his VP pick. I could guess, but who do you think at this point? Who are going to be? Let's make these right now. Who are we going to be looking at on the ticket come November?
That's tough. That is tough. Because if she would have won her bid for governor, it would be Carrie Lake. It wouldn't even be close. But that's a risky pick at this point, not one I'd probably go for. Golly. If you really are just doing a campaign where you appease your base, you take someone like Vivek Ramaswamy. But I don't think that's who he's going to take. I think it's going to be somebody from probably one of the major swing states that he needs to carry. Who that person is probably not going to be the wild political, like Ramaswamy would be nice, but and he says a lot of nice things, but don't care. If it's not Trump, it's going to be Phil Koe. That's how I look at it.
I'm still on the I don't believe a word that Vivek says. I think he's a fucking used car salesman. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't buy anything. Yeah, he says a lot of great things. He's got a silver tongue. So did Obama. And I made that comparison. That's why a lot of people liked Obama. Yeah, it's the same reasons they like this guy. Not because of what he's selling, but because of how he says it. And I don't believe any of it. I just don't. I don't know. It's not going to be Ron DeSantis. That dream died a long time ago. It's never going to be DeSantis Trump. That's just not going to happen. Sorry, or Trump DeSantis, whatever. That's not going to happen. And I think when DeSantis,
Haley.
Yeah, when DeSantis inevitably drops out, I don't know that he'll ever be able to recover from this. I don't know that he'll be a viable option.
Never gonna vote or recover from this.
I don't think he will. So I think this was his one and done, and I think for his sake he should have sat it out. I really do. But you know what? Honestly, I'm sorry. I've been brainwashed. Says the guy who's not voting. Shut the fuck up.
Oh. And Brennan's trying to give him shit for being a normie. It's like, but not like, and everybody's making jokes about Nikki Haley.
So
Nikki Haley, she was a choice some time ago, but no longer. And
Nikki
I don't
Haley was
want.
never going to win this. Okay,
No, she was running for VP. That was the whole point. God, these Tony and his pecs, all I see on TikTok, raw.
As it should be.
Brennan Roy Tony is a total normie.
It's not even how you spell normie.
Brennan, Democrats love Nikki. Yeah, Democrats love the Nikki Haley because they know that she can tank Trump's campaign from inside. So of course they love her. So yeah, we will see. It's gonna be kind of hard to. I think it's going to be a governor from one of the swing states he needs. Democrats love Tony's pecs, and Republican. Tony's very bipartisan in that. Okay, fucking TikTok grammar police now. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna come in with ice cold fucking takes, I mean, that's all I have to do. I'll punch down and join you. Like, why would I put my best foot forward? My God, I vote Tony's rips is shirt. No. This is a nice shirt.
I was about to say, man, your wife's gonna have to restitch all those buttons, yo.
It's not snaps. It's a button up, so I can't.
Yeah. Your wife's gonna have to restitch all that shit. So
there's a lot of people on the KFAB here in Nebraska that believe Nikki Haley's a viable option, that she could get the VP pick, or that Vivek could, and I'm not seeing it. I think you're right. I think at this point it's probably a name that's not in the running for pretending like they have a shot at becoming the Republican nominee. What swing states do you think we're looking at here, Phil? Like what swing state is
Trump can take Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin. It doesn't really matter what Pennsylvania or any of the other swing states do. He's won. Like it's like that. That's literally how it boils down. If he can take Arizona, Wisconsin, and Georgia, doesn't matter what the fucking other swing states do. He's the president of the United States again. So that's gonna be, I'm guessing, the majority of his ground game is Arizona, Wisconsin, and Georgia. Pennsylvania, I've written off for any number of reasons. There's been no reforms done to their mail-in voting structure since the 2020 election, so I don't see the Republicans having much of a chance in that state anytime soon. So now, I'll put it this way: if Trump wins Pennsylvania, Tony, you might need to check on me because I may have fucking fainted from fucking shock. Okay, like that's how I would do it.
Let's go the other side.
Oh no.
Go ahead.
Hey, Tom, you're blowing up. Way to knock that Hunter Avallone cuck out. Your interview about his ex-wife's camel was Pulitzer Prize worthy. It was a great event of 2023. Congratulations. That is getting into some internet lore that, Hunter Avallone's had one of the worst divorces in all internet history. Oh my God. Dude, like I do not envy that guy. Trump just needs someone better than Kamala. Well, fuck. Okay.
Boy, that's hard.
Then okay, so he picks me. Like, yeah, that's not really all that hard. Like, it's like don't get me wrong, I would be an amazing vice president because because I'm the president of the Senate. I'm showing up every day and just talking shit from the podium, whether I'm allowed to or not. Like, nah, fuck you. You don't know shit from apple butter, motherfucker. Like, yeah, I'm just cutting promos on people all day long because I'm allowed to. That's my chair. Fuck off.
Okay, so let's look at the other side of it. What percentage, Phil, do you think that we're actually going to see a Biden-Harris ticket come November?
I'm actually giving it a 50-50 shot. I'm saying there's a chance they push through with him, but there's a big chance they try to swap out Newsom. There's a big chance. And Newsom's... now, this is true. I'm not nearly gay enough. It's just, no, sorry. West gives Biden 40%. I'm giving it an even coin flip because it's literally a matter of how much his health deteriorates between now and November. Or actually not even that, October. If they can just get him through to October, that's fine. They'll run a corpse if they have to.
Is there
You've
any
seen what they
hope?
can do with mask technology. They will weekend at Bernie's fucking, what was it? What was the name of that movie? Like Dave. There we go. Where they just bring this guy that looks exactly like the president and they have him pretend to be the president because the president's in a coma. They'll totally Dave that motherfucker. West J. Ryan, News One is next in line, but Mark Cuban is breaking the glass candidate according to Scott Adams, which actually makes. Oh, Vivek will be like Mark Cuban. I think it's just because he hates Trump and he's just so pissed that Trump actually made it to the presidency and he had to like endure years of Donald Trump being his president. I think it's all personal ego for him. Yeah, Newsom is who they want to put in, but I think his COVID response.
I think COVID and all the awfulness that comes along with California right now. There's too much stink on the state of California and Gavin Newsom and is basically just being a horrible politician. I mean, even in a lot of Democrats' eyes, I just don't think he's showered enough of that off yet to be a viable option. Now, I'm not saying they won't put him in there, and that's never stopped him before, hence 2020. But I kind of think I'm with you on this. I think it's kind of a 50-50 shot whether Biden can see this full year into November. And is there any hope whatsoever for dumping Kamala and replacing her with somebody else? Because we know right now that if they go with Biden for another 4 years and he wins, I'm just saying there's a strong chance he will not be able to complete his term. I didn't think he'd be able to complete the first one. They proved me wrong.
Well, hey,
I know.
Don't speak too soon.
We've still got time. But what are because they don't want Kamala. They don't. We've come to find this out tenfold. They just don't. Because if they did, they would have. And I think we all know what I'm saying here. So what are the chances they replace Kamala with somebody else? What are the chances she steps down of her own free will to do other endeavors? I'm just doing air quotes at this point.
Ben goes, someone named Big Mike or Hillary. Could you imagine that shit? They put Hillary in as the VP. All of us knowing like, oh my God, Joe, do you even know what you've done? You just signed it. Like, oh my God, everybody check on Joe every day. Hillary's vice president. Like, no, nobody makes Hillary vice president because you'll survive maybe late that night or early the next morning with Hillary as your vice president.
I will say this: if they dump Kamala and replace her with Big Mike or Hillary Clinton, the election is over and Joe Biden will win.
Oh, you think Hillary? I think if it's Michelle, yes. If it's Michelle, yeah, it's over. I'm telling you
unless it's Trump. If it's Michelle or Hillary that becomes his VP heading into the election, it's over. Biden retains.
Interesting.
I'm not saying that's good. I'm just telling you that's
my No, I get it. Styles make fights and all. But this is something we need to address.
Was said here I declared today, if Trump picks Vivek or Tucker, I will not only vote, but I'll vote Trump. I'll tell you now, I would vote for Trump today if he picked Tucker. If he picks Vivek, I'm out. No.
I was about to say, if he picks Tucker, that's going to be kind of hard for all three of us to resist that. Like, that's like that. Brent Roy, Kamala talks a first grader. Even the Dems don't want her.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is Marianne Williamson has it's a very small chance, but it's a chance. What about Dirty Mike and the Boys?
Dirty Mike.
Like I feel like that's like a rap group that would open for Beastie Boys in the 90s. Because we are the kings of rock. Bandit, they wouldn't waste Big Mike on VP. If they gotta save it.
I don't know that they wouldn't, because guess what? If somebody can't fulfill their obligation to 4 years, you could look at 10 years potentially.
Yeah, you can get 10-year reign of Michelle My Belle Obama, as Rush would call her. Ben Alex Jones and Trump. Now, I do got to mention tomorrow, January 6th, Destiny is going to be on a panel with these two twins. I don't know who they are. And they're debating Glenn Greenwald, Alex Jones, and some other person. I have no fucking clue who they are. So, yes, your King of Extreme has been on a debate with somebody that's going to be on with Alex Jones. So that's that's actually something to actually brag about. Yes, I feel pretty good about that, actually.
I think Donald Trump should pick one of these three options, and I think those options are Candace Owens, Kanye West, or Caitlyn Jenner. Maybe all three. What a cabinet. What a cabinet. And sure, put Vivek can be the fucking speaker, the fucking press secretary. There you go.
So who has to certify the next election after Trump's done? You got Candace Owens, Kanye West, and Caitlyn Jenner all up on it. All right. I'm a lyrical genius, motherfucking voice of a generation, and I'm here to to survive this election. Oh my God. Destiny is the internet version of Kevin Bacon at this point. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but true. But hey, fuck it. Fucking Tony. Yep. But hey, I can 2 degrees of separation myself from Alex Jones. Chicken, do you have any idea how, I hope the fame doesn't change me. Yes, you may touch me.
Speaking of the election, is there something you're trying to share here, Phil, concerning the election?
You know, there is, T, because everybody's got these different options. Okay. And there might be some that don't find them all that appealing, and they want to look for a different option. I know. But if you are looking for a new option in this election, let me give you a potential option for 2024. God bless America. God bless this glorious land. And because this land is so glorious, it needs a new president to match that glory. And that person is Phil K-O-E. Yes, Phil K-O-E in 2024. A man who truly loves America. A man who loves this nation and the people in it. Phil K-O-E, the true alternative in 2024. The man you all need. A man of the nation. A man of the country. A man of the people. A man of nature. A man who is going to point us to a brighter tomorrow. Yes, Phil K-O-E. He is a man of decisive action. Phil K-O-E. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is for America. I'm going to do that for you in Washington, D.C. Whatever that is, you're going to get a lot of that. Yes, folks, Phil K-O-E, a man who will make sure to dot the I's and cross the T's of American government. Phil K-O-E, he will make sure to preserve your freedoms to work on go-karts on the weekend or whatever you call fun in this glorious nation. That's why you need to consider Phil K-O-E. And that, folks, is why I am asking for your vote in 2024, folks, because I, your King of Extreme, Phil K-O-E, have officially announced my candidacy for the presidency of the United States of America. Beautiful, beautiful flag. Old Glory is coming with me, folks, and we're going all the way to Washington, D.C. If you're tired of business as usual in D.C., do the right thing. In 2024, vote extreme. Phil K-O-E, the choice for you, the choice for me, the choice for everyone within all sundry. Folks, God bless every last one of you, and we're taking this all the way to Washington, D.C. in 2024. Vote Phil K-O-E to fix D.C. Yes, folks, it's going to happen. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. You're going to join me, the Cabinet of Extreme, Our inauguration party is going to make the Jackson inauguration party look like a debutante ball, folks. It's going to be amazing. Old Glory's coming with me. What else do we need? God bless all of you beautiful people. Travel well, and in 2024, vote Phil KOE. It's truly beautiful. Truly beautiful.
Yeah, now that we're actually in 2024, we really got to buckle down here and do a lot more campaigning videos because it's time.
It is time. It is time. We are now getting into the crunch time for Phil's turn
for Jen.
Now,
while you're getting that ready, yeah, let's go back to January 6th because we've got another video we're gonna play here concerning the January 6th, and it's a classic. Dream Democrat ticket, Keith Olbermann and JoJo from Church. Fuck you, West J. Ryan. Like, no, banned. Kick him.
I'll let him stick around for a minute.
No, right, ban him now. Fuck you.
Folks, you have 10 seconds to make this a double. You got, or we'll see what we can do. But to all you beautiful people out there in TV land and in internet land, to fighting, to stealing, to drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for the West brothers both got me.
Oh, wait. No, hang on and make it a triple because Justin says do it, Phil. Should have banned me, says West J. Ryan. Oh, and Bandit says make it a double, which would make it a quadruple.
Yeah, because Chicken got in there too. I don't like you guys.
That's horrifying. I can almost see the top of the glass behind your banner. Oh, God. Yuck. Yeah, he's trembling.
Okay.
The man is trembling, folks, for you.
To fighting, to stealing, and drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for a friend. If you're going to steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're going to drink, by God, I hope it's with me. Fuck this shit.
It's the eye of the tiger. It's the fear of blood. If you like gin, I think you're fucking crazy. Go ahead, swallow it. It tastes like gasoline, and you really can't go wrong with the eye of the gin.
Tony, that was terrible.
I know. I'm sorry. Wish I, yeah.
Steven, so for Phil so loved Big Bucket Empire that he drank gin and became one with the Force. KOE 36.
Yeah. He just committed cliticide. Going back to January 6th, though, Bandit did post this earlier. This is posted by Tom Fitton on the X. Breaking at Judicial Watch. Files $30 million wrongful death lawsuit against the U.S. government on behalf of Ashley Babbitt's husband and estate. So, what this means is, I said this in real time. As we were watching the events of January 6th unfold 3 years ago, we watched the video of Ashley Babbitt being gunned down, shot, and killed. I said point blank, this is fucking murder. And that hasn't changed
now
at all.
I'll never forget, like, some people that I actually considered like fairly good folks on the left that I knew. I'll never forget the gleefulness in their voice and just the beaming happiness on their face when they were describing Ashley Babbitt and what happened to her. Like, to this day, that haunts me. Actually, like it was something that I realized that the other side is starting to dehumanize, and
Yeah.
that's a terrifying moment when you like. Because you know, Tony, like I was on Twitch panels all the time in previous years, and like hanging out with
Mhm.
all the lefties, and like, hey, they think I'm one of the good righties and stuff, and you know, like. But then when I was in on one of those conversations, when they were just downright gleeful over Ashley Babbitt, like it became a moment of deep reflection because I've always believed you don't have to mourn every death, but the minute you celebrate somebody's death, you've surrendered a small bit of your own humanity.
Yeah.
And so, like, Tony, you know, like years ago, I always said I was going to make a big deal when Madeleine Albright died. And then when she did die, I decided to just let it pass. I'm not going to celebrate it because that's wrong. Okay. Because I think it was C.S. Lewis who said, I will celebrate the death of no man because I am part of mankind. And so I too am in some way diminished by their passing. And
Yeah, it's very it's easy to talk about, and then when it happens, you're like, oh wait, there is actual weight and brevity to this situation. And the same thing. There was a message board that I frequented a lot until I realized the kind of the cool kids locker room that kind of ran things in terms of censorship and what's allowed in the underbelly. And the Ashley Babbitt situation was one of those tipping points that kind of got me to the point where,
yep.
yeah, I don't want to be here anymore because I flat out told you guys in the chat, has it happened? That's clearly murder. This is a guy pointing a firearm out of a window blankly, ready to fire it at the first silhouette he sees. And that's exactly what happened. I'm like, this is murder. And I saw no less than a dozen people on this message board that I use frequent try to explain to me how I was wrong in that regard.
And how it was
And
actually a good thing.
And not that specifically, but alluding to the first hour where you use a lawyer could make the argument, there was a lot of that going on. And a lot of, well, whose fault is it? Not his. Clearly, it's hers. And then, yeah, even some championing of it. And I've got it bookmarked. And it's one of those things that, like, if we ever need to fill some time with disgusting rhetoric, it's one of those things I've got it at the ready. I don't even feel like it right now, even though this may be the time and place for it. I just like, it's one of those instances when you find out truly just how deep people's narratives cut. Because I'm a pretty open-minded person when it comes to politics, or at least I try to be. You can call it being a normie or whatnot, not wanting to pick a side, whatever. I like to see perspectives. And when you make your perspective so glaringly negative in order to drive home your point, I just there's a certain line of respect that goes out the window. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, Tony, to kind of bring it back to like your perspective a little bit, and like kind of bringing it back to you and me a little bit, because a lot of folks know you and I, like we've been friends for most of our lives, but there's always been this source of antagonism between you and I, like almost a heel and face eternal antagonism, if you will, where you've been very moderate in your politics, and I've been very black and white in mine. I think that would be a easy way of simplifying.
Sure.
Would that be true? And like when you talk about being a moderate and there's times when that's really good and that's very necessary. The thing that I always find frustrating about it is when it's time to plant your feet and not be moved, the normies you will not find behind you amongst your ranks. They'll be off on the sidelines watching. And that's the thing that I always find a little grading, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, because there's a fight that's to be had, and there's things worth preserving in our civilization that people are trying to overthrow. And not even necessarily you yourself, but quite a few people with kind of your disposition I see kind of standing off on the sidelines in quite a bit of this. And unfortunately, we just don't have that luxury anymore. And so that's the thing that I've always found a little frustrating. And so now I'm curious, Tony, with my black and white absolutism, I'm sure you've never found nothing frustrating about my politics, never.
No, the black and white plant my feet no matter how wrong I am. That's kind of what drives a guy to become a more moderate. But I digress.
So what you're saying is Phil Koe's, just the sunshine of Phil Koe's politics has still in its own way led you to the pastures you're currently in. But so it, now don't get me wrong, we need some moderates in this country. We really do. Because they're the third of the country that kind of keeps the other thirds, the third on the left and the third on the right, kind of like they're your normie buddy that's like, hey, Phil, that's a bit much. Or hey, Tom, that's a bit much. You know, like, Tony's usually the guy that you got, like when Chicken was a bit more in the left in high school. You would be like, hey, Chicken, that's a bit much. And he might listen once in a while. And Tony go, hey, Phil, that's a bit much. And the noises went into my ear.
Yeah. Largely ignored. Right. Got it.
But the noises did in fact go in. So that's something. That's, oh God. Ben's bringing up some great stuff. Whether any form of government becomes destructive, it's the right of the people to alter or abolish it.
Unless they're now conservative.
Yeah. From a normie's mouth, unless they're a conservative, you don't have that right for some reason. Which I've always kind of joked, the supremacy clause of the Constitution that dictates the federal government just kind of do whatever the fuck it wants. That might be the last piece of law that's actually sticking around in American government. In like 10,000 years, it'll be like, yeah, we still got that going. So now, Tony, I take it you're wanting me to pull this file up, sir?
Yeah, just in case my internet's not running as smoothly as yours might be.
Or are you saying on the off chance that your internet is not prime and pristine, running like at 112% of perfection?
Yeah.
When would that ever happen?
Okay. Yeah. Only every time.
Only every time.
Yep.
Okay.
This is something that this was one of the most fun things we've ever done on a live stream. It's timeless in my opinion. I just, everything about this was so much fun. I don't even remember how far after January 6th we did this. I'd have to go back and look, but good God. This was just a fucking blast. And this is the kind of stuff that I want to get back to doing on the Dog and Chicken Show, because God damn it, this was so fucking fantastic. I love everything about this. So and we can we can pause this as needed as we reminisce this momentous segment.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
So we'll do more on that, but Tony,
back when I was doing
a lot
it in
of
the
time
mill.
and effort to the final segment of the night. We have other stories. We'll hit that in the post show. We'll pop that link up when we get to it. So, folks, share this with your friends right now. Get your kids in bed. Pour yourself a fucking new glass.
Yeah,
because shit's about to get real.
Kiddo,
this is going to be great. Yep. Earplugs for the kids if they are in the room, because this is going to get sexy.
It's time. This has been weeks in the making. It's finally here. I am so excited to share this with all of you. I know what you've been missing out on. And as talks heat up in the courtroom about Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, January 6th, the committee, the hearings, what have you been thinking about that whole time? Well, frankly, if it's not, how do I get my rocks off of this? I don't know what the fuck you're even doing here.
Oh,
Well, I'm here with a solution. I got a casting couch and a director mind ready to rock and roll, folks. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is what we've all needed. This is what we've been missing in our lives. I'm, of course, talking about January 6th, an insurrection.
Oh, baby.
So hot, baby.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Oh, the impetus of this came a couple weeks ago. We're in the chat, we're in the side chat talking about the show, and somehow the January 6th hearings come up. And we start talking about January 6th as a whole. And for whatever reason, we start talking about, well, what if we started talking about January 6th, Triple X parody? And casting ideas started flowing out. And then it just, like a dream, a wave, a ton of bricks just floored me to my core. And I had all these amazing ideas. And I said, gentlemen, I've got to stop you right there. And I'm not kidding. I mean it. Stop giving your ideas away for free in this chat. I've got us covered. I'm going to make this amazing. We're going to do this on the show. I'm going to make it come to life. And that's where we are. This has been like 3 weeks in the making, folks. I hope you're ready.
Let's do this.
yeah.
I am fucking excited.
January 6th, an insurrection. Lisa Ann will be reprising her role of Sarah Palin from Nail and Palin.
Love it.
Hey, that's casting continuity. Okay, like how much you hated. You know how much you hated it when they recast Rachel from The Dark Knight.
Exactly.
Then, like, hey,
I didn't think we were going to go to that, but okay.
This is art, you cretin. Don't
you did
judge
such
me.
a great job the first time. How can you really argue?
Fucking Phil really is a
That's-
theater dork.
Well,
Yeah, I resemble that remark. But yeah, like, so reprising a role.
Having a different screen is now a euphemism.
I love it. Okay.
So, Ty,
Next.
I mean, other than the fact that you were just like the poster child for that TikTok,
Should we vote on these?
I'd like to leave. I think this is. Do you think this is spot on casting?
I give a thumbs up. This one nails it.
I'm not familiar with this actress, so I couldn't tell you.
Lies.
Tiberius
Well,
is a
you don't
virgin.
have to know her by name.
Okay. Okay, Ty. I'm unfamiliar with her too,
Let's just give a
Wink,
thumbs up.
but
or a thumbs
I think
down.
based on this photograph alone, this is.
Capital Chef will be played.
Capital Chef. Okay, got it.
Just, I don't know. It felt right.
That's pretty good, actually.
Also playing Capital Standard number 3, played by Johnny. Sins.
Johnny Sins gets 2 roles.
It's like
That can't be it. That can't be it.
Just slow your roll.
He has played a very good janitor over the years.
Kaylee McKinney will be played by Elsa Jean, obviously.
Thumbs up.
I mean,
I mean,
any arguments here?
This could involve my interests.
Yeah, I have a feeling you might enjoy this.
I'm not high enough for this. Give me a minute.
Ty's like, I need my equipment for this. Okay.
Brendan, I hope he's up for it.
Johnny Sins.
Got my vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got
This is definitely a thumbs up. Elsa Jean.
Here's the next casting. Liz Cheney will be played by Asia Carrera, 90s sensation Asia Carrera. She dyed her hair blonde and put on some glasses. I thought this
What
was
a
perfect
fucking
casting.
insult to Asia Carrera. Like, I don't know who this
Look,
lady is, but
Bill,
fucking
okay.
slam to her, why don't you?
look,
Jesus
John Travolta has
Christ.
played the villain before. Tom Hanks has played a villain before. All right, look.
Like, I'm actually
These
not
roles
familiar with this woman.
Bill.
She's actually pretty, and you're having her play Liz fucking
Bill.
Cheney.
I have 2 points on this. 1, do you want a fucking Slagathor playing the role? And 2, look.
Yeah, I gotta
roles
say,
have to be filled almost
It
as much
breaks
as
a
they-
the amount
merger.
of
Tony.
fighting
These
that
roles
you
have to be
guys
filled almost
It breaks a merger.
God, as long as Liz Cheney's like an
Pause
extra and
this.
we don't actually see.
Okay,
You gotta pause
this.
this.
Up
Breaks immersion.
I was blown away at the amount of pushback you and Chicken gave me on some of these casting choices. Like, oh, The audacity of you to cast a beautiful person
How
for a
dare you,
porno
sir.
role. I wanted a frumpy, disgusting troll woman in my porno film. What the fuck kind of porn are you and Chicken watching? No. She's far too pretty. I won't be able to come.
That's not what I said. That is a straw
Doesn't
man.
matter.
That
how
is a
it's
straw
playing back.
cock, Tony. You just straw cocked me. Okay.
That's how it's playing back, and you're seeing it unfold in real time.
Oh my God. Okay. But no, I just like. You're like, what do you want to snag a Thor?
Yeah, Jesus. What are you guys jerking off to?
No, I like my comeback. It breaks immersion. Don't tell me no shit I can't believe on acid. Okay.
She's not really a younger, vital actress. So yeah, it's more of a background. Podium guy will be played by Johnny Sins. It's just that's a no-brainer. I mean, he's got that smile. You just can't deny it.
And he's got the hair.
arguments?
It's pretty much the
Yeah.
same.
Right. Spot on. Any arguments here?
No,
You
Johnny
know-
Sins plays everything. Yeah.
He's the man of 1,000 roles. So yeah, I got to give that to.
I like how you
Johnny
spaced it
Sins.
out. That was perfect.
It's
I feel he'll really know how to utilize the podium with different positions.
Oh yeah.
No,
He's a pro.
so
Oh,
moving
no.
along. Capital Tourist 1 through 12 will be also played by Johnny Sins.
Oh my god. Fucking CGI in there. Like
He's like the Oompa Loompas from the remake of fucking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He's like, just fucking, he's fucking everywhere, man. Jesus Christ.
I imagine Tony. I imagine
Oompa
Tony putting this
Loompas.
together, and he's got Johnny Sins. He just puts like 15 different outfits on him. And he goes, "How can I make this into a movie?"
I did get to use this picture a lot. So
Yeah.
that was fun. This is my
Jesus
favorite picture of him I found.
Johnny
I
Sins is a man of many Jimmy hats.
just like he looks so happy to be there. Like
You know, you
he has no idea that he's going to be spending the next 2.5 years in an isolated cell for no
All right.
good reason.
Feel
Fuck,
bad
if
for
anybody
Johnny's
wants to get their
flopper.
shots in, go ahead. Let's
got
get these out of the way.
Wow, I
I got
called
two.
that one.
Yeah, so far.
No
I'll
shit.
hold off.
Knock him out and get him over
All
with.
right. Oh, yes. Some good old Buffalo Trace. Hmm.
Deuce.
Ooh,
That is going to burn. You know what's
My stomach's starting to feel that one. Oh,
it's a
both of those.
bourbon.
one?
That was.
No,
Oh,
Ty
come
was
on.
do you have to
pretending
drink?
to not understand
Yeah,
humor, Bandit.
Amanda, nobody fucking asked you.
No, but she's right though. It is bartender approved and not for shots. It's meant to be enjoyed. And
Yeah.
Tyler sells it looks like the gin face.
Well-
Everything behind me is it's all equal. So none of them are.
This has got a higher
Yeah.
proof to it. So that first one like hit me a little bit like, ooh, whoa, shit.
But don't
Now,
forget,
God damn it.
also played by Johnny.
So, is anyone getting a bit of a love affair for Johnny Sins from our good friend Tony G?
A little bit.
Tiberius,
little bit.
I'm going to be completely frank and honest with you.
This
A
is the
lot
guy
of
you would go
Johnny
gay for.
Sins suggestions were from one Phil KOE.
I mean, like I was about to. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, Ty. Look at Tony. Look at that picture of Johnny Sins. If Tony shaves his head, wait, Tony, are you secretly Johnny Sins?
Phil, I've got the receipts that say you suggested this.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think
don't
you
remember
did.
it.
Which that's
Like,
always
Johnny Sins has
something
got to be
fair.
like at least 15 people.
Look, he was
Like,
born to
I
play
mean-
this role.
Yes, roles. But yeah, so
Man,
Johnny
which
Sins
will-
as Capitol Police.
Tony trying
number
to
one.
throw me under the bus for the beauty of your
God damn, this
creation.
motherfucker's going to be collecting some residuals off
You
that.
you definitely contributed Well, to Johnny hold the Sins phone, idea. because next
Oh,
up
it
we've
had to
got
be like 40
Marjorie
dudes.
Taylor Greene will be
Ooh.
played by Julia Ann.
Wow.
What's that?
That's not the reaction.
That-
I expect.
that-
She has
that is-
some
I'm
assets
gonna-
to show.
Gonna cancel yourself
Guys,
yet?
I'm gonna
Go for it.
No, I'm just gonna say this. That is actually too much of a favor to MTG. She cannot look that good. Okay.
Oh, now
I was
going
just saying that about who
It's
Tony
depending on
cast
your
for Liz
politics.
Cheney. Like,
All
Well,
three of you
yours
just
want
went
ugly
on the
people
market,
playing these
so-
porno roles.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene just came onto the market, so we got to flatter her a little bit, okay? Because
Wow.
Phil's lonely.
Exactly.
Damn.
She's a swinging single. You gotta put the vibe out for her.
trying
Oh
Phil
my
to
can't
God.
do all the work.
trying to put hook up Phil with a sitting congresswoman from Georgia. Like, what could possibly go wrong? I don't see it.
I
don't
mean,
see it.
Jesus, Ty, stop. My penis can only get so erect. Jesus Christ.
Jen Sack could be played by Amaranth.
Oh, I
Nice.
love that. Good job.
You
Why?
couldn't afford her, okay? Like, Jesus Christ, she's a millionaire.
What? Wait, why?
Why not?
Why are we trying to make?
Exactly.
Why are we trying to make ugly people look more attractive? Like what?
Have
No.
you ever
Because
watched
that-
pornography
Porn
in
Ty,
your life?
that's what porn and makeup do.
Yes.
Okay, they make ugly people
What
more
would
attractive.
you three and hating attractive people?
Hopefully, I portrayed Trey's fucking feelings
All right.
there.
So I actually don't know this. Is Amaranth actually doing that kind of thing? Does she do
She's
that?
like one step away from it.
She will
Okay,
for the
that-
right amount of money.
does she do like the OnlyFans thing? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, she's like
Yeah, she does nude
paid.
stuff.
Okay.
So she
not
would do
like
the Jen
triple
Psaki
X,
press conference,
We're getting there,
topless
Lynn.
or something.
We'll get to AOC apparently. All right.
Next up, Ashley Biden will be played by Riley Reid.
That's actually kind of accurate. I don't know if I want to see her with Joe in the shower, but
Oh,
Well, you haven't seen who's playing Joe yet.
oh, that was the
No.
one that broke Ty.
I was
I
about
hope
to
that's
say
not a
it's
scene
like
in this.
it's like the
About
meme you
time.
sent me. Joe's sitting next to Hunter, and he goes, "Hey Hunter, do you want to hear what Ashley said when she lost her virginity?" And Hunter goes, "Dad, please no." Hunter goes, "Yeah, it was actually that."
Oh God.
Thanks for saying it on air, Phil. That won't get us kicked at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, next
Nah.
up, we've got AOC played by Mia Khalifa.
That's fair. That's pretty fair.
I think I nailed this one,
didn't
guys.
object to
I
that
think you
one.
did.
They would call you racist, but
That's
who's
fair.
asking them?
Also fair.
Well, no, like it's the
Who's
cultural
playing Joe?
appropriation.
Johnny
Like
fucking Sins.
you're
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Putting
had to
the-
be some Latina
you're
woman
casting
apparently.
the wrong race for the wrong person or something. I
Yep.
forget what
Yep.
it is exactly.
They
but-
would absolutely do that. Or they would completely flip it on you because there's no consistency at all. Where they'd be like, "Oh, we're happy that
They
a
would try
person
to
of
do
color
an
is,
intellectual fucking turnaround on this somehow. Like this is an intellectual fucking
Yeah.
casting fucking
like the
idea.
left will now champion this movie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no
I
shit.
should mention at this point the prerequisite to be cast in this fantasy movie, you have to have done at least one adult film.
At least one. Okay.
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 So
just
Tony,
But
keep
are
this
that
you
in
is
in
mind.
not. This is not who I had cast for AOC, but I could see this one very much working.
So next up, we've got Cassidy Hutchin, played by Adriana Chechik.
God damn it.
That was a little too close. That was pretty good. Now again,
I'm just saying I have
you're-
an eye for
you're
talent.
complimenting Cassidy Hutchinson pretty fucking well here.
Oh shit, he might be right because she is really vital in the backdoor community, if you know what I mean. So she might be a little. She might have some prior requisites.
So
But
she'll know
anyway,
about all the backdoor meetings.
right. Let's not get hung up on this one. Let's move on. Alex Jones is played by Hulk Hogan.
Let me tell you about them turning the frogs game, brother.
I don't know why this one just speaks to me.
I love this picture. It's just too perfect.
Can you zoom in on Phil for a second?
Is it the
I
Hulk
can't.
Hogan? So I just gotta ask this: is it too recognizable of Hulk Hogan that he could not be recognized as Alex Jones?
No, I think if we gave him a really bad
Shut the
comb-over,
fuck
we
up,
could
Tiberius.
very well-
Jesus
Gotta make him
Christ.
spit out some crazy conspiracy theories.
You got to take off. Well,
But
no, I mean,
that's totally
that's fine.
acceptable for Hulk, though.
yeah.
Like how?
No,
how-
it's-
Literally, the
Alex Jones
manager
is
of his
next
Hulk
level.
Hogan beat
Yeah.
shop is a conspiracy nut. So this is the perfect fit.
This edible is kicking my ass. Hulk Hogan is a perfect fucking Alex Jones.
Well, think about it. It's a pretty small distance between Hulk Hogan. Let me tell you something, brother. We're going to know this Sunday, and we're going to find out. Now, listen, we need to know about the New World Order and how we need to make sure that you do not get defeated by the New World Order. Like, they both get red in the face pretty quick.
I need to do edibles. I've never done that.
They'll say brother a couple times and give somebody a leg drop in the middle of the January 6th riot. It works. I love
Just
it.
replace brother with New World Order, and it's a pretty close impression.
Oh my god! Shout out to whoever is doing the edibles. I haven't done those yet. I need to. I need.
Well,
to.
we'll hook you up with
yes,
They're
Brendan.
good kind.
do.
They last a lot longer. It's a good time.
All right, brace yourselves because they're going to get nothing but naughtier
Oh.
from here, folks.
Oh,
Love
God,
it.
they get
Let's
worse.
go.
Next up, Ray Epps will be played by obviously it's a no-brainer.
Fed! Oh,
I
shit.
think I
sorry,
really
my
nailed
cough.
this one.
Ron Jeremy looks like the crypt keeper now. Jail hasn't been kind to him. Oh, poor Ron Jeremy.
He went to jail.
Grow the farm up.
Yeah,
and Logan
yeah,
Paul
yeah.
marries at least
He
He
three
was
of
selling
them.
big dick pills. They were frauds.
Of course.
Well, we all knew that. Like, Jesus
Brendan will
Christ.
send you some in a video game. There you go.
Brendan,
Okay.
just in a video game, bring them with you, and we
Like, remember the Joe Rogan bit where, like, the
the
big dick pills are being sold by Ron Jeremy and the Coke whore? We all knew that was fucking bullshit.
Oh,
Like,
he's in for the big R, huh?
oh,
Okay, let's move on.
okay.
Let's move
All
on.
right. Ron Jeremy's in
Well,
for the big R.
Tony's like, I got to
Oh.
quickly recast somebody real quick.
So coming up next, we've got Kamala Harris to be played by Kim Kardashian.
Okay, this one
Jesus.
Ty's absolutely right. Quit trying to make these awful, ugly people look
Okay,
good.
no,
And
no,
I don't
you
even
will
think
fucking
Kim- I
look
don't
at the
like Kim
goddamn
Kar-
picture and
I
appreciate
don't
the fact
even think
that
Kim
I found
Kardashian-
two
Oh, Tony, who
now
you had
and
cast
doing
for
the
Liz
exact same
Cheney
pose.
would be perfect here.
Look at this.
No!
For fuck's sake. They're both standing
both
behind the
nuts.
fucking POTUS podium. This is brilliant. They
Oh, don't get me wrong. If you can, I'm pausing it for a second. If you could get Kim to do it, that'd be, but I do think who you cast for Liz Cheney would actually be a better fit here, honestly. And then, yeah, get Kim in some other role.
Asia Carrera is Asian.
Well, you know, technically isn't Kamala Harris part Indian? That's in Asia.
No,
I think that's actually true.
we're gonna go with no.
But so you're going like
Has
I
the
get it.
blazer on, and she's standing in front of the podium. This was a spot on casting, and I stand by
the
it.
same goddamn.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks to Trump, by
And
the way.
in the interest of not having a
This is amazing
Snorlax,
fucking
I'll let it go.
casting, And I want
Exactly.
you both to acknowledge me.
Acknowledge
Like,
me.
if we're going on looks alone, I guess. Sure.
Okay, Trey's giving you applause on this one.
Thank you.
I don't even
again,
like
but between
Kim
Amon
Kardashian.
Rand and Kim Kardashian, you're spending millions of dollars.
Okay, all right. Look, Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney.
Yeah,
You want a bunch of
the
fuckers
budget's
in your
gonna be a
porno, or do
bitch.
You want actually somebody
Well,
who's
I
attractive?
kind of thought this would be the tentacle porn part.
Oh my
No.
god.
That's solely for you, chicken. You're
So,
the only
hey,
one. Hunter Biden will be played by Eric Everhart.
Oh, we got a second male character finally. All right, no, that's actually
I was
pretty
about to
good.
say, why is it not Johnny Sins? I'm a little disappointed.
No, I
actually.
like this one. This is good.
Did
This is
did
good.
you find like either the most recent or the most possibly crazy photo of Hunter you could possibly have?
I've been doing a lot of work.
But is there good
No,
pictures?
Tony
Are there
searched for
good
about
pictures
2
of
hours,
Hunter?
and that's about the
Yeah,
best one he could get.
He looks high half the time. This time he just looks like he's out of his goddamn mind.
Ty,
Look.
you listen to my opinion. You just don't know it.
Look, Eric Everhart obviously is glamming up Hunter Biden a lot here, but I just want you to keep in mind the next casting. Joe Biden will be played by Hunter Biden. Because Hunter Biden meets the prerequisite of starring in his porno before.
Oh my god.
Yes, I mean, I'm sorry, it's perfect, and he's going to be stumbling, bumbling, making no sense. I mean, this is
Yeah.
perfect.
Melania Trump will be played by Mil Malkova.
Fucking yes.
Aren't they both
No,
porn stars?
it's-
Like, couldn't she play herself?
She's got some prior endeavors she wanted to take care of, so Mia
Okay.
will be stepping in for Melania.
I would rather. Yeah, I'd rather.
Okay.
We might play the
But
Snorlax
it's okay. The Trump family's not done.
a
Don't
little
worry.
later.
Because Ashley Babbitt will be played by Brandy Love.
You know,
Oh
I
my
kind of
fucking
wanted to
God.
see Brandy Love get shot in.
Oh my God!
In a video game.
Jesus.
So yeah, Brandy Love's money shot scene is pretty much going to be the pinnacle of the film. It's going to be amazing.
The climax, if you will.
It will be one of the.
It's
Lorna,
not-
apologize. Be the star and picnics down to you.
It's going to be one of the turning points. It's like when there's no turning back and everything looks its bleakest.
Oh my god.
That'll be the moment. Yeah,
You know, the
Jesus
story's not
I-
over
I
here. folks.
couldn't help myself.
This.
So I think I nailed this one again. I'm just acknowledge me.
I feel
we'll,
bad.
we'll move on
Acknowledge me.
before we
I'll
get
allow
too
it.
distasteful. Sorry, what
Before?
What was that?
Before.
Going to
Oh, you
take a-
like?
She's gonna take a load to the chest from
Oh,
a
no.
waiting Johnny Sin.
Capitol Policeman #1, Johnny Sins. Next up, Elizabeth Warren will be played by Hi Apache Lee.
This isn't funny.
Oh my God.
Tiberius immediately. This isn't funny. I feel like I nailed this one.
No,
No.
Listen to
Wow.
giggle.
I'm just like, oh
Can
no,
we
No.
zoom in on chicken for a second?
No.
chicken's dying. Chicken
Dude,
can barely hold
I'm
it.
right now, and you're still not getting me on this one. No.
Oh,
No.
Jesus. Chicken's fucking crying.
Everybody like. Oh
Are
my
you all about to
God.
pull the everyone else is laughing but me kind of thing? Like I get what you're playing out here, Tony. Like I do, but
No, you
I
don't.
think
You
I nailed this
fucking
one.
dick.
Fuck.
It was like an 80s, 90s staple, and you know,
Yep.
that means she's old now. So she's obviously got experience playing this role.
That won't translate to
Oh,
the
wow.
screen. That's Trey's worried about
Did I
immersion.
not nail
So,
it?
folks, enjoy our
we
final
just been on the
broadcast of Big Bucket Empire. It's been a great run, folks.
I feel like I nailed it, guys.
oh, speaking of which, Phil.
Oh, God.
Okay, that joke was funnier than this casting. Well done.
No,
you
this
don't
casting
know what
is
humor
brilliant, and you can
All
acknowledge
of this is great. I love
Oh,
it.
Next up, we've got Ivanka Trump, played by Akira Noir.
What the fuck?
Look, if the Little Mermaid's going to get recast, so is Ivanka. All right?
I think my brain hurts a little bit.
I'm just trying to keep up. All right?
Oh, this is great. Oh, I
I
fucking
just
love
want to
it.
appeal to a larger, broader crowd.
I'm crying. This is great. Ugh.
This
Okay.
is spot on, guys.
Okay, T. Oh man.
Why doesn't anybody
Jesus.
appreciate this?
So yeah, you can tell Tony was putting this together right when the
What
fucking
the actual fuck?
right when the
Guys,
Little
I'm
Mermaid thing
feeling
came
here.
together.
I
Oh
see
my
nothing
God.
wrong with it. Stunning and
Exactly.
brave.
Exactly.
Yes. So that's why we needed Brendan on. Not
I
Ty's
see so
dry
much
ass.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, so next up, we've got Donald Trump will be played by Stormy Daniels. Of course it will be.
Okay. Are you okay over there, Phil?
And listen. The
She's
beautiful
got
part
to
about
pay
this-
back Trump
The
somehow.
beautiful part
Yep.
about this, all the proceeds she earns from this film will be going directly to Donald Trump
For her, yeah, what she
to
is.
pay for her, night of passion. That never happened.
That never happened.
Oh my God.
So great.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
it's the best.
Oh, it's
This has
not
been the
over yet,
best deal in
folks.
Oh, how do you top
We're,
that?
we're in the fourth quarter, but it's not over yet because next up, Barack Obama will be played by Mandingo.
Fuck yes. That's perfect. I love it. Love it. That's too woke for my fab.
Now listen, guys. Listen. Hang on. I want you to understand. This is a dual
No.
role because Michelle Obama will also be played by Mandingo. I've been waiting 3 weeks to pull this picture out.
You just heard me lose my shit.
Are you all okay over there? Like, are you all
Enjoying
okay?
their reactions.
Tyler Perry would be proud.
I don't find this picture funny, but I cannot help but laugh at Phil.
Oh, you lying son of a
Holy
bitch!
shit.
Ty.
No shit. I'm glad that you all are having fun because I don't get it.
Oh, Michael looks so good.
Oh,
God.
don't worry, Ty. You can pretend for the cameras.
Well, look, I'm hot. I'm
Just
high in
fucking call him
pretending,
out.
but I need to be a fucking actor
Oh,
because I just pulled
God
that shit
damn it.
right off.
Oh my
That
god.
was-
Okay, I gotta catch
I
up on
don't
comments.
get the joke.
Let's see. Sold. I'm fucking sold. Trump was a woman. That's too woke. Okay. Thanks for your opinion, man. That might be the most intelligent thing you said tonight. Thank you.
Damn, you rained on Amanda's parade.
Stunning and brave.
Is she a
again.
hate watcher, or is this just somebody else?
It goes both ways. It's a hate watch and a hate reaction.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't make me take shots of gin because they love me so much.
Yeah. It was worth it. And why is it funny? Because she's a man.
Allegedly. All right, T, where'd you go? Tony, where'd you go? Oh, God damn it. That's,
Oh, did the kids interrupt? Drink just in case.
yep. Kids interrupted, didn't they? All right, take a drink.
Have we come back down to earth from this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
we're back.
we have.
We're back.
Thank
We're back.
Christ.
All caught
I've
up.
been waiting 2 weeks for this picture.
Okay.
It's fucking
But next
Was it
up-
2 weeks or 3 weeks? Goddamn.
Well, I've
It's-
been doing it for 3 weeks, but there
like
you go.
like
There's
Trey
no-
said,
Oh,
it was
God.
worth
Lauren
it.
Boebert will be played by Lana Rhodes.
Love it. Good. That is perfect.
Are we sure that Bobert hasn't been to film by herself?
Well,
Actually,
Until
no,
you
I'm
see
not.
her.
You were a little early.
She's a
I
slut.
will let
I
you
was
know.
gonna say, like, there is something about her that just totally like gives me that idea that she's gonna find. There's literally a tape.
The
Damn
slow
it.
start, but
Yeah,
God
Lauren
damn
Boebert
if it
and
didn't ramp up.
Melania
Yeah.
Trump, both
Oh,
Republicans,
God.
so
Next up,
obviously
we've
they're
got,
whores, right?
Hillary
Ty?
Clinton, played by Nina Hartley.
God, I hate everything about this.
You
I'll
notice how
never-
Ty's all on board for this one.
I'll never watch Nina Hartley again. You just ruined it for me. It was the only hot old blonde chick left. Like it's gone now.
You know,
no, because I cast Julianne as fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Come on,
I can get past that.
yeah.
Not this.
Oh, my
Not this.
God.
You just ruined it.
Even
for
then,
me.
that's a, like,
ruined.
yeah.
Ruined.
Ruined. Ugh. No, we needed that as a palate cleanser from what we
Look,
just saw. Jesus.
Everybody's prettier.
Nina is a national treasure. That's right. You
Lynn.
just disgraced her.
Nina's a national treasure.
Ruined.
Ruined.
we can definitely smell the political bias here. We can
Yeah.
definitely smell
Look,
it.
eventually they've got to
Ugh.
hang it up anyway. What better way to go out than playing Hillary Clinton?
Well, in this movie, the political bias smells like tuna.
Damn.
Well, next up, we've got QAnon Shaman, played by
Played by
Johnny Sins.
That
I'm pretty
motherfucker.
proud of this one. Like, not because of the casting, but because of the level of detail it took me to do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got the face paint.
Yeah, you really
Still-
took some
This
time
is
on that
still
one.
That same stock photo image. All right, this one took me a while.
God Almighty.
Everybody's still
what-
talking
what-
about Hillary. Yeah, you
Tainted.
kind of killed the mood with the Hillary. God, jeez.
Well,
Jesus.
She's always gonna
Well,
be
no,
good.
we all had to come back down to. All right, what's the next one after Buffalo
All right,
Hat?
coming up
Guy,
next.
T?
Coming up next, Nancy Pelosi, played by Jenna Jameson.
Today, Jenna Jameson.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Today,
obviously.
Jenna
Yeah.
Jameson.
We ain't got no time machine. We're taking who we got. Like,
Well, it's got to
I-
be like a drunk Jenna Jameson, so you get to hearing where
It's got to be a
Gentlemen,
drunk Jenna
so-
Jameson. Have you
I mean,
seen the picture, chicken? Look at her.
Before you go, like,
Look at that bitch
how
isn't
do you
cracked out of her
act as a
goddamn
walking
mind.
corpse? Like,
yeah. She is like a zombie, isn't she?
like, look, I don't want to completely just shit on Nancy for this one, but like, holy crap, woman,
Shit
you
on
are
her.
like 81, fucking retire. Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow.
I was about to say the only thing Jenna needs to do for this role is, get the Karen cut, dye it brown, and just fall off the sobriety wagon.
This is special. Rachel Levine, played by Ron Jeremy.
Well, folks, enjoy our final broadcast of Big Bucket Empire. It was a good run. It was great. Like, I hope you enjoy our farewell episode, everybody.
You've
Like,
been waiting all this time. Everybody who started with us, you weren't here at the end, but the few that stayed,
Yes.
you finally got to see Ron Jeremy is playing the stunning and brave Rachel Levine.
This is amazing. That is amazing. I love it. It's perfect.
Again,
acknowledging.
yeah, you can roll through the comments. That's fine.
Home fucking
Yeah.
run.
Nailed it. It's the last one. This has to happen, even if it's a non-sexual role. I feel like I nailed this one too, and I took some liberties here, and this has to happen because this is the perfect casting, and I would appreciate if you all applaud me now. This is amazing. This is.
I'm gonna
brilliant.
applaud you just for the Michelle Obama shit. Like,
Thank you.
but
But you're going to applaud me for this one too, because last but not least, Rush Limbaugh played by Phil Coyote.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That is the most gorgeous possible casting ever. Thank Christ. That, like, I mean, my God, like, Tony, flattery will get you nowhere.
Look how
Comparing
Ty
me,
is.
casting me as the great Rush Limbaugh. Like,
It had
I
to
mean,
happen.
my God.
Like I
mean,
understand, like your sex tape's not officially out there yet, but like it's
Yet.
floating.
it'll happen.
But God damn it, like that is beautiful. Like Tony, like Christmas came early this year.
Let no one
Christmas
ever
elf.
see that hit the light of day. Like,
Well, too late. Too fucking late.
Phil over Rush Limbaugh, like, oh my God, that is Tony. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, oh my God. And that was when Rush got his Medal of Honor, or no, his Medal of Freedom, and he got to shove that up all the Democrats' ass right in front of them. Oh, it was beautiful.
National
Beautiful.
TV.
Like,
that was
right
beautiful.
before he dies, he gets one last giant middle finger to the Dems. God bless you, Rush Limbaugh. God bless you. So yes, Tony, this was a journey. We all
was.
grew. We
We've got
laughed. We
drinks
cried.
left. Let's get these out of the way.
Oh my Lord. Oh my God. That was hilarious. That was incredible. Now, T, I have to take care of something for just one moment, and I'll be back in about a minute and a half. And then there's something we're gonna get into, all right, T?
Minute and a half. Okay.
Yep.
I'll stall for a minute and a half. So while Phil takes care of that, I'm just going to go ahead and take this opportunity to shill like a motherfucker. That's what I do. Folks, it's right there. Linktree/Tony the Rod. You can find me on all the socials, all the podcasts and live streams of the Big Bucket Empire, and then some. You can find me over at Dad's Worldwide. A new episode just dropped just today or yesterday. Yeah, I think it was today. Dad's Worldwide, Spotify, Google, all the fucking audio platforms. Get the fuck over there. It will make you a better parent. Will make you cry. Brendan says it better than me. Doesn't matter. Dad's Worldwide. Fantastic show. Features me most of the time with the greatest, sexiest man in the Northeast, Brendan Roy. Of course, the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. We're about to do our year in review for 2023. That's going to be live on YouTube at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast and on Facebook at the Big Bucket Empire 2023 year in review, where we give our rewards and demotions for who was in and who was out of the wrestling year. And of course, folks, next Friday night, the Big Bucket Empire celebrates a landmark live stream, the 200th edition, the 200th installment, the 200th episode of the Dog and Chicken Show. 200 episodes, and we're finally there. I'm so excited to do this. I'm so excited to have everybody be a part of this. I'm so excited to finally put this in front of everybody. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. Get over to the Big Bucket Empire on Facebook. Make sure you're notified, subscribed, and all that. Or the Dog and Chicken Show on YouTube, or the Big Bucket Empire on YouTube. Just make sure you do not miss it. Next Friday night, the Dog and Chicken Show, episode 200.
Whew, all righty. Thank you very much, Tony. I mean, all right, President Mr. Donald Trump.
Right?
I totally have a feeling this person is absolutely not from China.
Absolutely not.
But glad to have you. Glad to have you. God bless you. This person also says, God bless Israel country forever. Okay, maybe.
And then abbreviates Illinois a bunch of times.
Okay, no, I think that's Hebrew, maybe.
It's
the symbol
Illinois.
I. It looks like it's Illinois, or Israel, IL.
It's Illinois.
But like, I was about to say, let me get my glass on. Yeah, it might just be that, but yeah. So okay, maybe this person's like coming from Israel or something. But whatever corner of God's creation you're from, we're glad to have you. God bless y'all. Now, T, there's something we've been putting off for a New York minute. A minute here. Let me get some things all properfied for how I would prefer this, but we've had something. And on the stash, nice. Fuck it, we're keeping it. We've had something on the stash that we haven't been able to get into for a long time, and it's more than time. And it is these Willet straight rye whiskeys. So, folks, you have indeed arrived at the KOE Nation for this review of Willet straight rye whiskey. Folks, I am your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands. One damn handsome man, if I do say so myself. And I am joined here by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
the 15-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, the quadruple distilled, non-chill filtered blend master himself, Tony fucking G. And you can find me on all my socials and all of my podcast iterations at Linktree/Tony the Rod. And yes, Phil, it has been a super hot straight rye minute since we have done something of this magnitude. We've been putting this off for a long time. I think we've been sitting on this for well over a year, I believe. Willet straight rye whiskey, and I believe we've both got the exact same itty bitty shooter bottle.
Yep.
Now
I've got 54% alcohol by volume, 108 proof.
As do I. And at the very top it says family estate bottled small batch rye, aged in hand selected white oak barrels for 3 years, hand bottled at cask strength. Rare release, the Willet Distillery. Now, I don't know.
I've heard nothing but good about their rye. We've had their bourbon.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's better.
The rye seems to be fine. People hate on the bourbon really, really hard.
And for reason. Like, it's a pretty bottle. It's a nice bottle, but that's why you buy it, because the bottle's pretty. But here we go. Oh, yeah, there's my open.
Honestly, I didn't hate the bourbon. I didn't hate it. I thought it was very
way
Christmassy.
Overpriced.
Very, very overpriced. I found it very Christmassy. I don't know. That was the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, that's fair. It tastes like Christmas. But
I didn't think it was like a Midwinter Night's Dram, but I thought there was a comparison there.
Interesting. Well, T, let's take up Willet Rye to the nose. Okay. It's a very sweet rye nose. That's unique.
Yeah, but there's like a glazed sweetness on top.
Yeah, and you can tell the mint is under there, but it's not the first thing that stands out.
No, it's got a
like a
cover
candy
over
cane.
it. Yeah.
Wow, another Christmas drink. But
it's
let's
like
see.
A peppermint.
Well, T, clangy.
Okay.
It's warm, kind of a molasses heat on the back of your tongue. And then the typical rye kind of sting on the front of it.
There's a rye sting on the front, but there's also a heavy rye finished lacquer on your palate. when you're done with it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting black licorice on the front.
Now I kind of am. Now that you mention it, maybe that's a power
Yeah.
of suggestion, or maybe that's just truly what I'm getting there. But
I get black licorice and then a little bit of orange, and then just a heavy rye finish.
Interesting. Well, T,
I know what that means.
what do you mean?
We will see soon enough.
We're gonna get to the very hard part, and that's the grading.
Is it going to be that hard, Phil?
For those who don't know, we grade on a 5-star scale. 5 meaning you have to have it before you shuffle off this mortal coil. 0 meaning pass it on by. The Kiwi Nation has advised you well. So we're going to grade this as a rye. We're going to grade this as a whiskey. We're going to grade this as a cask-aged spirit. It's shelving. And for those new to this show, the secret 5th question. So as a rye, T, how would you grade this?
The more I sip on this, the more orange peel I get, which actually is pretty appealing.
To me, it's more like Contro, like
Okay.
a very heavy orange triple sec,
I like
but like
this.
just a little bit.
Yeah, it's just enough. It's not overwhelming because you still know you're drinking a rye whiskey here. As a rye, I'm going to go 3.25.
3.25 as a rye.
It's very prototypical a rye. You definitely know that you are drinking a rye, but it's got just enough differentials that it's not going to be just a
As a
bland
rye,
insert rye.
Disagree a little bit and give it 3.5.
Okay.
I think as a rye, this is spectacular because it's not toothpaste when you drink it, which that's a
No.
lot of rye. Like
No, and I
frank.
thought initially, yeah, the peppermint undertone was really going to shine through, but I'm getting more orange,
as much
black
as I
licorice,
thought.
and rye. Yeah. So you know what? I'm going to agree with you. 3.5.
All righty. Now I'm about to be a little less generous on the whiskey
You're going to
scale.
be a lot less generous.
I'm gonna give it 2.75. It's very mixable, but well, actually, okay, take that back. It's not really. It's
No, I don't know.
it's a
how
very
you could.
specific drink, and I think 2.75 because it's good, neat. If you're wanting a neat whiskey, that would be excellent. But nah, I wouldn't do. You know, the more I think about it, I'm trying to think. I could do that. No, I could mix it with no. Maybe if I no. So
I'll be
this-
honest. I'm going to give this 2 as a whiskey because no, you could not mix this. Absolutely not. Nor should you even try because you're just going to be wasting both things. Ice and water would probably open this up not in good ways. So I'm thinking neat as is probably how you should and I would recommend drinking this. Sure, that's without me even attempting to play with it, but I don't want to. I think this is as is. So as a whiskey and its versatility, I think that's really gonna hurt it. And if you're just if somebody walked up to a bar and said, "Give me a whiskey," and you gave them this, I think more often than not that person would be highly disappointed / offended.
You know what? You talked me into giving it 2.5. It's right at the middle. Like I went from 2.75 to 2.5 based on your promo there, and it's like, yeah, you're right. Like this is not a start 'em out whiskey. This is a whiskey snob looking for something different to have on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay, and if that's who you are,
yeah,
that's a lot of you. Yeah, this is something good to reach for that regard. Now, cask aged spirit, aged 3 years.
Yep.
Rye whiskey. I'm gonna let you go first on this one. I'm curious.
As a cask aged, man, this one's tough because you've got over 100 proof here, 108. That's right in line with what I like. The 3-year age statement. Actually, I'm pretty impressed that they got the sweetness and the flavors that they did out of only going 3 years. I think this is one of those barrels that if you did go longer, it really might make this something really, really, truly unique and special. As it is right now, it's fine. It's fine as a rye. I see why they go ahead and cask it after 3, and there's no harm, no foul there. But I think even going 5 or 6 would really do some wonders for this. So I'm impressed, but I'm also like, what more could you do if you just waited a little bit more? So I'm gonna go I'll go 3. I'm gonna go 3.
As a cask aged spirit, I'm gonna go 275 because it's so limited, and there's so many other things. And you know me, I'm a bit biased against rye. Just truth be told, like I mean, you know this team.
No, trolled. You said it right the first time. You do, yeah.
Oh, I troll rye. Ouch. I'm a little judgmental. I'm a little
There you
harsh
go.
of a critic on rye. I'll be honest with you. But because of that, when a truly good rye comes around and you know I'm raving about it, you know that's good shit. If you can get me raving about a rye, it's like, okay. It's like Tony, on the other hand, he's almost Mr. Rye to the point where it's like, guy would almost rather get a rye than a bourbon. I just don't understand it. It's
It depends on the mood.
I understand. My mood always turns to bourbon, though. It's an easier thing. Now, I think if you and I ever did another top 5 list, we would have to do what are you drinking while you're getting ready to drink? While you're trying to figure out what you want to drink. And yours would probably be a rye. Mine would probably be a bourbon.
Is it Willet Rye, Phil?
No, it's not actually.
Didn't figure. So what does that lead us to next?
That actually, Tony, by the way, A+ on that segue. That was amazing. That actually gets us to the shelving of this particular rye, the top, the middle, or the bottom. Now, Tony, for you, I'm curious, where would you put this?
Well, as you can see behind me, I have a very specific segregation of my whiskeys. On the top, I've got my Scotch, Irish, and World whiskeys. On my middle, I've got my bourbons, including, blended TX whiskey, and of course, Tennessee bourbon, Jack Daniels. And then on the bottom, I've got my...
Wait, Jack makes a bourbon?
Yeah, they do. Everything they make. So then I've got my ryes down here, and then back in this corner, just terrible shit back here. Now, that doesn't mean that the ryes are bottom shelf, but if I was going on a tier system, a top, middle, and bottom, this would probably be a middle, and I'll be honest, it could move down if it needed to.
This would definitively be on my bottom shelf. Truth be
think.
told, I'm not blown away by this. And the next time you come over, if like we're watching WrestleMania here, it's like, hey, Tay, you want to finish off this Willet Rye? You're like, I'm probably not going to even finish it off, or maybe if you want to use it for like your
I'll say I
rye
saved
decanter
plenty for a rye decanter. So
okay, all righty then. So
there's a lot of similarities in the rye that there is in the bourbon, and I think that's probably fair, because I'm reminded of the bourbon now that we're drinking this, and I know all the reasons people don't like the bourbon and the Christmassy. Like I get a lot of that here with the rye.
Yeah, this is definitively bottom shelf. Now, the bigger question: when this mighty, masterful, just Macedonian bottle runs empty, will you seek another one, Tony?
This one's going to be on the pricier side. Am I incorrect?
Yeah, I mean, this one, I think we both paid like around $20 a pop for these little bottles.
Just for the little bottle.
Yeah.
And which would mean that an actual 750 would be very, very high in price.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact price is. I'll look it up, and maybe I'll put it somewhere on here. Maybe I'll forget. We'll find out. Let me know in the comments if I remembered or not. And
I don't know that I'd spend the scratch on this one.
Yeah, mine would be a definitive no. I like this. Like, will it? Once again, I'm not impressed by your performance, but for some it might be. Like, I could see this being somebody's favorite whiskey in the universe. Okay, like that's just the way it is. Like, if you were to take this to a card game, there's some bourbons that like 10 people there'll be 10 people at the game, 8 will love it, 2 won't like it. This will be one where 8 won't like it, 2 this will be their favorite whiskey in all God's creation. That's kind of how I would.
This is going to be one of those whiskeys
Qualify this.
that depends entirely on your palate that day and your mood.
Boy, howdy, if ever. So, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, that was this review of Willet Straight Rye Whiskey. God bless every last one of you. Raise a glass to yourselves. Tony, take it away.
Thanks for joining us here at the KOE Nation for another beautiful spirits, whiskey, and all things KOE review. We'll catch you on the next one. And scene.
Sweet. All righty.
Okay.
Thank you all for bearing with that. Now, for those who are still with us, there's something we do need to get into. Like, it's too funny to me. T, have you been paying attention to what's going on down in Florida lately?
No, I haven't. And you teased this. So, yeah, before we wrap things up here tonight, I'm interested. What in the blue bloody hell is this that you're talking about? Because I have no fucking clue what this is.
Okay.
And that goes double for this comment.
Yeah, I don't know what even that all means, but Zanzibar attracted Tony because we're both huge Metal Gear Solid marks.
The first word just caught my attention. Oh, so Zanzibar land. Bitch, Big Boss. Got it.
T. Ukrainian whiskey.
Oh,
All
God.
right, well, just as well get a review into this shit while we're at it. So give me full screen,
All right.
and I'll get the propers. Bandit, dick. Oh, Lord Almighty. Okay, let's get one more. Bam. All right. Give me just a little bit. All right, perfect. Welcome, one and all, to the KOE Nation for a very special spirits review of Odessa VSOP, brandy of premium quality made in Ukraine. Folks, I am your King of Extreme Phil, KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes you the podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands. One damn handsome man, if I do say so myself. You can, of course, find me at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. And this is something I saw the other day, and I was like, okay, I got to give this a shot. So this is Odessa VSOP, which stands for Very Special Old Pale, for those who do not know. Now, they say this is the number 4 best-selling brandy in the world. Limousine oak barrel aging, French copper Alembics distillation, gold medal San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So this is imported by Global Spirits USA LLC, product of Ukraine. So literally a 375 of Ukrainian brandy. So let's see. I'm a little curious. Okay. Smells like the CIA and NATO. Can smell some tax dollars in there. I certainly can. Hang on. Oh, there's some special forces that we got there that we're just finding out about. This is going to be fun. Truth be told, it's a very sweet nose, like overly sweet. It's inviting. I'm not going to lie. This is not a terrible nose. Oh, oopsie daisies. You want to swirl it about a bit and then let your hand warm it. And that actually brings the aroma up to your nose. It's actually the opposite of whiskey. With a Glencairn, it's designed to keep the heat of your hand out of the whiskey. With brandy, you want much the opposite. It's like brown sugar and caramel in the nose. Well, folks, Longevat. Deep, dark brown sugars, toffee. Coffee. Deep coffee. If you like coffee, you'd love this. And yes, obviously it tastes like NATO and about $1 trillion in tax dollars. Of course. Sorry, can't resist it. But interesting, Ukrainian brandy. So this is one of those things, if you're somebody that's super pro-Ukrainian war, I don't know who actually gets the profits of this. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you're totally helping the war. Who knows? I don't know. But it's just kind of fascinating. Ukraine's in the headlines. It's interesting to see that there's something they're still getting out into the world. So to me, my heart goes out to all the Ukrainian farmers, because those are the people that really have to deal with all of this in a very real way. Like, I don't know how you get through a planting season, let alone a harvest season. So my heart goes out to all of you. I got a lot more in common with any farmer in any country than just about anybody else in the whole world. So apples. I'm starting to get apples on the nose. Now, for those who don't know, we grade things on a 5-star scale. 5 meaning you have to have it before you shuffle off this mortal coil. 0 meaning pass it on by. The Kiwi Nation has advised you well. We're going to grade this as a brandy. We're going to grade this as a cask-aged spirit at shelving. And for those new to the show, secret 4th question. So as a brandy, this is spectacular. I'm going to give this 3 stars as a brandy. This is actually much better than it deserves to be, all things considered. As a cask-aged spirit, got to be honest, this is VSOP, very special old pale. Doesn't quite taste like it. I wonder how much Boisé is in here. Because for those who don't know, Boisé is a very controversial thing in the brandy industry, where it's kind of like a caramel that they add that also has kind of like a sweet and oaky flavor. And like Hennessy uses Boisé. And there's a lot of spirit companies that pride themselves on not using it. So I'm wondering if that is present here, because this is a lot better than it deserves to be, honestly. But 3 stars, fair rating. Now, as Cascade Spirit, I'm going to give that 2.5, right in the middle there. In terms of its shelving, this would be a bottom shelf, to be truth be told, just because there's some amazing cognacs and armagnacs out there. And then the secret 4th question, would I replace this when it runs empty? This cost me $8 USD. $8. That ain't too bad. So yeah, I would, just as kind of a sipping brandy while I'm trying to figure out what I'm wanting to drink for serious that night. So folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining me for this review of this Odessa VSOP product of Ukraine. God bless all y'all. Travel well. Okay, folks, that is my review of that. Now, I think Tony just tapped out. It's looking like T just tapped out, folks. What do you think? I I don't know. I think Tony, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna see if he messaged me. It's like, oh, you son of a bitch. Tony's like, gotta run upstairs. I'll try to come back. He's gonna try, folks. He's gonna try. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, the Phil KOE show it is. So, folks, how have we all been, you beautiful people? We will see if we get one Tony G back with you and me. But in the meantime, all you beautiful, beautiful people, you know, there's something that I've been thinking about getting into. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit, and we'll see if T gets back. But I don't know if any of y'all have seen it. The fucking alien in Miami. That's what they're calling it, the alien. It's funny as shit, though. Like, everybody's freaking out over this weird video. It could just be, you know, something that we don't quite see properly through the film. It looks like on film, like some 8-foot tall thing is just kind of walking along a wall, and the entire police force of the entire city is descending on this thing. So I don't know if any of y'all have seen it or if you've seen new footage, or I'm gonna check the tweeter here, see if anything new has dropped in that regard, because sadly Elon Musk's X is now the most reliable place to get news. So let's go Miami alien and see what we get here. Oh man, the memes are A+. Okay, it's all memes of like aliens dancing on Miami Beach, and oh god, this is too funny. So okay, this is getting lost to the meme world, so we'll have to see how that goes from there. But I just find it fascinating now that in the 90s versus today, there's been a complete flip. In the 90s, it used to be the conspiracy theorists going, the aliens are real, the government knows about it, and they've been lying to us. And the normies would go, no, they're not. You're fucking lying. You're fucking stupid. Now, the normies are going, the aliens are real, the government knows about it, and they've been lying to us. And the conspiracy theorists are going, no, they're not. You're fucking stupid. Like, it's kind of weird how there's been a complete flip on that in our modern day. And I don't know if that's where we're going to be in another 20 years on that one, but that was more than a little bit weird. So I just find it fascinating that now, like, let's just say, like, for the sake of this thought experiment, like, I'm not even saying it is, but for the sake of this thought experiment, let's say it's truly an alien, or some sort of SCP creature or something like that. Isn't it quite shocking how quickly we just kind of fall back to our worldly lives? Like, we just go back. Like, I remember a couple years ago for Christmas, I was telling my aunt, uncle, cousins, like a bunch of folks, that we actually got a radio signal from outside our solar system back to us. And it wasn't just a ping off of something, which means that something got some of our first radio signals, then transmitted a radio signal back to us in communications. That means that potentially intelligent life reached out to us. That's incredible. And we thought that was kind of neat. We talked about it for about 10, 15 minutes. And then we just got right back to our kind of terrestrial, worldly, and, you know, are you going to get the vax and like all that? Like, yeah, it was kind of shocking how quickly we fell right back into our worldly ways. So even if we did like find out that aliens are real and they've overtaken most of Congress and it's like pretty deep, I think we'd kind of fall back into our regularly scheduled programming a lot faster than any of us want to admit. I don't think any of us are quite ready for that yet. That, yeah, we just kind of fell back into whatever it was we were going to do anyways. And I don't think the extraterrestrial discovery is going to shake our world as much as we like to think it would. I think really it would just be another thing that we have to try and figure out. It would just be another metric that we would have to try to work through. And I know it's gonna sound weird, but I think we'd be getting back to business as usual. I know that sounds like an odd way of stating it, like the most incredible thing that we've ever discovered ever. Yeah, and we'd be back to business as usual pretty damn quickly. And that's the unfortunate reality of it, folks, is when we discover life beyond our planet, it's going to become another banality. Like we're probably going to discover it on one of the moons of Jupiter, and we're going to be really disappointed to discover that the DNA is going to be very similar to fungus here on Earth. Just that's a spoiler for when we do eventually find life on one of the moons of Jupiter. The DNA is going to be pretty close to fungus here on Earth, and we won't know if it was something that was flung onto them from our planet or we got it from there. Like, it's not really going to answer a lot of questions when we find our first life. And that's the unfortunate reality. Now, what this is, who the fuck knows? Could be anything. But these are the things like always, the minute something that's a little bit outside of our ability to understand it, that's aliens. That's the way that our society works. Now, folks, we're getting to that time, as I'm known to say around here. All that being said, thank you for joining us here for Hazard Analysis Episode 16, January 6th Eve. Folks, I am your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, one damn handsome man if I do say so myself. Folks, you can of course find me at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter X as well. God bless every last one of you. Tomorrow night, I'm going to try to do live. It might not happen, but we'll see. But Sunday night, be here for Sunday night Bible study. We're going to be having some special guests on. It's going to be a marvelous time. God bless every last one of you. And we are going to end tonight with the true alternative to business as usual in DC. God bless every last one of you beautiful people. I will catch you on the flip side. God bless. Travel well. God bless America. God bless this glorious land. And because this land is so glorious, it needs a new president to match that glory. And that person is Phil KOE. Yes, Phil KOE in 2024. A man who truly loves America. A man who loves this nation and the people in it. Phil KOE, the true alternative in 2024. The man you all need. A man of the nation. A man of the country. A man of the people. A man of nature. A man who is going to point us to a brighter tomorrow. Yes, Phil KOE. He is a man of decisive action. Phil KOE. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is for America. I'm going to do that for you in Washington, D.C. Whatever that is, you're going to get a lot of that. Yes, folks, Phil KOE, a man who will make sure to dot the I's and cross the T's of American government. Phil KOE, he will make sure to preserve your freedoms to work on go-karts on the weekend or whatever you call fun in this glorious nation. That's why you need to consider Phil KOE. And that, folks, is why I am asking for your vote in 2024, folks, because I, your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, have officially announced my candidacy for the presidency of the United States of America. Beautiful, beautiful flag. Old Glory is coming with me, folks, and we're going all the way to Washington, D.C. If you're tired of business as usual in D.C., do the right thing. In 2024, vote extreme. Phil KOE, the choice for you, the choice for me, the choice for everyone within all sundry. Folks, God bless every last one of you, and we're taking this all the way to Washington, D.C. in 2024. Vote Phil KOE to fix D.C. Yes, folks, it's going to happen. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. You're going to join me, the Cabinet of Extreme. Our inauguration party is going to make the Jackson inauguration party look like a debutante ball, folks. It's going to be amazing. Old Glory's coming with me. What else do we need? God bless all of you beautiful people. Travel well, and in 2024, vote Phil KOE.